Miranda Cosgrove. Do you ever just think about how much money she gets from Despicable Me, the franchise?
Yeah, right.
That makes me
Sometimes
feel okay about the proliferation of minions, that at least Miranda Cosgrove is getting some of that check. Hello, Fantasy. Welcome to the first annual, maybe not annual, depending on how we number these, Famtasy Choice Awards. I'm Cullen, coming to you live from the tournament grounds where our nominees are battling for these trophies.
they just finished battling. We're about to give out the awards.
Yes.
I'm Hannah, and I'm coming to you live from the void, but behind me is our logo.
Our logo void. So that our logo takes place in a blue void where we're naturally from. And
Yes.
then
I
like
mean,
it,
I'm wearing this blue,
yeah.
and then I have a very similar blue yoga pant on. I was sort of monochromatic at the Target today.
So
And now I'm very monochromatic on the pod.
we were created in the blue void, and then we're kind of deployed, like our souls were deployed into the earth when we were babies, but we are
Yep.
naturally void creatures. Welcome to
Yep.
our cult. Uh Actually, no, welcome to Not My Fantasy Podcast, the podcast where we talk about fantasy films and the lore that inspired them. And today we are celebrating 50 episodes. By this point, we'll have like 52.
Yeah.
Uh and just kind of going on a little looking back on our journey and seeing all the different foes we faced, friends we've made, journeys and conquests we've achieved,
Jokes we've made on the
jokes
podcast.
we've made.
How much we'll find out how many of them actually land.
Yeah, we're like, guys, I hate that. And you're like, oh, thought
Oh,
that killed.
okay,
Oh,
well, I love it, so I'm gonna keep doing it.
I'm ready. I have my sword that I painted.
Awesome. You almost
Uh,
hit yourself in the face with it.
I know how to not do that. I'm on the fencing team. Okay.
That's right, that's right.
And you can, so I did like a design where I ombre it. So it's like dark red
Oh,
and it gets golden.
yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. That's some pretty high-tech stuff right there.
Yeah. I was scared because based on my artistic ability, I was like, this could go wrong. But it worked.
Yeah,
And the
look at
sparkles
that.
even worked. And I'm also drinking from, I have a vodka crayon with me.
Whoa.
Yeah, getting crazy. It's from my third place in my age group, Pride 5K.
Love that.
So between men 25 to 29, I got third place.
Nice.
Yeah, and they gave
Proud
me
of
a
you.
glass. I had to wait till the very end of the awards to get it, but
Mm, yeah.
yeah.
I'm drinking water from a bottle with a brand that is going to be unnamed.
I did forgot to stir this.
So you're just drinking juice and the alcohol's at the bottom.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, what do I have with me that could be a stir? Or
Your
I could just
sword.
get probably just get a stir.
Oh, that would be so funny though. It's a cool background.
She was sitting
Uh,
on my backpack.
I see the costume does not go down but behind but below the waist.
No, the pants I got for the Ren Fair like ripped on the bottom because they had like this thing that you're supposed to like, they're kind of supposed to be piratey,
Right.
but I don't know, they didn't really work with my boots and my big calves.
Yeah. Muscly calves.
Mostly calves.
I mean, you
Yeah,
did go on a hike and a run today,
I
so
did. It's a
yes.
beautiful day. Um,
Anyway,
anyway, but now I'm at the tournament. So Hannah, how do you feel now that we've hit 50 episodes?
I, wow, it feels crazy. Like it doesn't even feel like it has been that many episodes. And to some people who don't do podcasting, that may not seem like a lot of episodes, but it is. That's a lot of work, a lot of uh meeting lots of new people, a lot of a lot of hours watching good and bad movies.
Hmm.
So yeah, it just kind of reminds me of just like how much work we've put in.
Yeah.
Um, feeling grateful, feeling blessed. And honestly, I have a great podcast partner, so
Oh,
it's made it as easy as possible. So yeah.
yeah. It's felt really like wow, I can't believe we did that. But also, especially when we've started doing weekly, it's like become almost everything I talk about is, well, I'm watching this movie, I'm doing this research, I'm doing this like
Yep.
everything that in my brain this week is Mulan, like it's just it, it's definitely a labor of love. I've had so much fun and I'm having so much fun. And yes, I mean, I think I texted you once where it's like I've done a lot of projects and it's very rare. Like I work collaborative with some amazing people, but I tend to like be someone I have a lot of willpower and I can drag a project to the finish line by sheer force of will. And I don't have to do that with Not My
Yeah.
Fantasy. Like usually I'm the one being like, Hannah, it's okay. Like you're like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, this
Like
episode's gonna be a day late. I'm like, they'll still listen. Like,
yeah, yeah. So it's and I can't believe like it'll be 2 years in October. So like we've been doing it like
2 years.
a year and a half. Like
Yeah.
it feels like yesterday that we did Brothers Grimm.
Brothers Grimm. Yeah, but it feels like yesterday, but also like the amount of things we've learned, movies we've watched, people we've met,
Yeah.
things that have just happened in my life
Yep.
since. Wow.
Yep.
And then
It's
even like
crazy.
I got this idea in the middle, we were still in Glee Boot.
Hmm.
And so I was just kind of like, what if we did this? And I thought maybe I'm just being crazy. And Hannah was like, no, that's like, I
That's
like
not
that
crazy.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but all this is thanks to our listeners.
Hmm.
We're really happy with the engagement. We have people coming back week after week. We have people trying out individual episodes, commenting. We've had some really great guests, and feel really welcomed in the kind of fairy tale fantasy folklore podcast community.
Yes, very
Uh,
much so.
so it's just hashtag too blessed to be stressed. Except I am stressed
I was gonna say
sometimes.
hashtag except I'm still
Except
stressed.
I'm still stressed. This tournament's really intense, okay? I'm a little
Yeah.
stressed. Uh, but yeah, to celebrate, Hannah, did you know that the Teen Choice Awards, the last one was in 2019? They stopped doing them.
What?
We've been talking about them for months. They're done. They're on hiatus
Wow.
indefinitely. The last hosts were David Dobrik of YouTube fame
It's his fault. It's all his fault.
and Lucy
And then there was a
Hale
pandemic.
from
Oh,
Pretty Little
Pretty Little
Liars
Liars.
and Katie Keene and I think one of the Cinderella stories.
Hmm. Yeah, wow. So there was a couple curse things happening. It was right
Yeah.
before the pandemic and also David Dobrik.
I don't
Uh,
even I know he did shady stuff. I don't know what it is because I never really cared.
let's just say he was a manipulator and he put people in dangerous
I did
situations.
hear that he put people in danger. Very Sue
Very,
Sylvester.
very,
But
almost
like
putting
honestly, like
people in a cannon.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
A guy like basically like had to have half his face reconstructed. Like David Dobrik, crazy.
I mean, the only video I ever saw was one with Miranda Cosgrove, who
Never saw any of his videos.
anyway, but yeah, so the Teen Choice Awards they don't happen anymore. Another thing
That's what
COVID
are the
took from
teens
us.
gonna do?
What are they gonna choose? Well,
What about the Kids' Choice Awards? Is that still a thing? Let's Google it. Kids' Choice
kids.
Awards. Yeah, they're still doing it 2024.
Wow. So
It's
only the
happening on
teens.
July 13th. Wow. What
Yeah.
are the teens going to do? See, this is interesting. So, not to get too political or, talking about
about
like
the teen choice
social
awards.
dynamics, but teens have nowhere to go in the physical world. Like there's no
Yes,
places to hang out and gather. They're just considered like miscreants, and that's terrible. Like they don't
that is,
have safe, fun places to go. And now they
yeah,
don't even have an
teen choice award.
outlet to share their opinions.
That is, well, that's why it's like people get chronically online and then people like go touch grass on like, but like literally like half of them
You
can't.
can't. You literally can't. Because if
Yeah.
you even like look
At a
at
park,
a
you're
bench,
loitering. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Whoa, yeah.
I used to think of
Ooh, and
the,
then 2018's Teen Choice Awards was hosted by Nick Cannon. The one before that was Logan Paul.
maybe they needed to pull the
It was
plug.
cursed. It was really cursed.
Yeah. But now instead of that, you can become part of the fantasy and the fantasy can choose. Wow, I love our tangents. Okay.
See, when we don't have like a clear focus, we get
And
all
a
over the place.
guest.
So we gotta, all right,
Yeah.
let's get
get
into
into
our Fantasy
our
Award.
fantasy awards. This will not be as formal as the Glee Keys.
Yeah, I was like, I should probably preface that I'm not going to edit it like the Glee Keys either. Because you said costume, I was like, sorry, do I have to go in there and put on like my fifth bridesmaid's dress? Like,
No. I mean the Glee Keys were a series finale.
true, that's true.
They
Yeah,
yeah. We were the first and only ever Glee Keys.
yeah,
And no one can
yeah,
take that from us.
that's true.
They could make a second Glee Keys, but we will have been the first.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
But the fantasy, this is the first Fantasy Choice Awards. It's only a 50th celebration. I can present our first category.
Okay.
Our first category is most enchanting mythical creature we've met. And the nominees are Ruby Gilman from Ruby Gilman, Teenage Kraken, Asling from The Secret of Kells, the Unicorn / Lady Amalthea from The Last Unicorn, Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon, and Grover from Percy Jackson and the Olympians TV series.
There are five nominees, and one of them did not get voted on at
Yeah.
all.
With fourth place with 3.8% of the vote is Grover from Percy Jackson and the Olympians. Justice for Grover, but he did have some stiff
Honestly.
competition. I love him.
Yes.
Yeah. With 15.4% of the vote, in third place is Asling from The Secret of Kells.
Mhm.
And this is a hot one. This one was going back and forth. So
Wow.
in second place with 38.5% of the vote is Toothless from How to Train Your Dragon.
Mm.
The I guess
Number
honorable
one.
mention nominee with no votes is Ruby Gilman. And number one with 42.3% of the vote is the Unicorn from The Last Unicorn.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense, especially with the title of Most Enchanting.
Yeah.
Um, so
This was
I'm
between
gonna,
her and Toothless. This was tight.
which makes sense because I feel like Toothless is such like a pop culture icon.
Yeah.
And I think the unicorn is like iconic in its
Hmm.
sort of own sphere.
Yeah.
Um,
I think
so
dragons and unicorns are also the two big mythical creatures.
yeah, because so we have what was Aisling again? What
She was
was
a
her
fairy,
a fairy. So then we have a
a
kraken
kraken, and
and a
a
humanoid
fawn satyr.
kraken.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I mean, I'm gonna guess that you voted for the unicorn.
I did.
Yeah,
And you voted for Toothless.
I did.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see that.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, either of those two top, I was like, they're
Mine
iconic.
probably would have been between Toothless and maybe Grover.
Yeah, he's a cutie. He's a little
Because I
sweet boy.
thought he was a good iteration of that character. Again, I did not read the books, but I heard from you. Um, but also like he wasn't like God from the movie, he was so weird, but like this
Yeah,
iteration was good.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I mean, all good choices. I mean, Ruby Gilman, I think it's an interesting idea of a
yeah.
character execution. Leaves something to be desired.
Yeah, and the unicorn is so weird. Like her
Yeah,
journey is weird. She's like
the
she does
movie's
not
weird.
get she's not like Toothless is kind of like he's comforting because he's like a cat,
Yeah.
and she's like on another plane. She's like, I don't regret that witch had to come in. She's like a
Yeah.
human body. I'm literally dying. And I love
Yeah.
that. I'm like, wow.
I mean, it
Uh
is interesting.
it is
It's
interesting.
enchanting.
It's enchanting. Do you want to take our next?
Oh, I'd love to. So this is the most boyfriend material monster. So we've met quite a few
Yes.
during our Supernatural Romance Month, but also we have a nominee on here. It was from the void time
The
when we
void
kind
time.
of didn't know what to do. So first up, we have for nominations Edward Cullen from Twilight.
Mhm.
We have R from Warm Bodies. We have the creature or Cole Sprouse from Lisa Frankenstein.
Mhm.
We have the Beast from the animated Beauty and the Beast. And then we also have Scott Howell from Monster Prom.
Yes.
I wonder who Colin voted for. So I'll start from the bottom. Looks like everyone got a vote, which is great. We love that.
Mhm. Everyone got
So
multiple votes.
yes, yeah, everyone
Yeah.
got multiple votes. So at least no one was left out.
Yeah.
So we have a tie for our sort of uh fourth place, I guess it would be. So we have Edward Cullen and Scott Howell
A vampire and a
tie.
werewolf
I
tie.
mean, it makes sense. The next in third place we have the creature from Lisa Frankenstein with 20% of our vote. And then with almost a quarter of the votes, we have the Beast in second place. That's crazy. And then in first place, this does not shock me, is R from Warm Bodies. We talked about it,
We
right?
gushed over our,
We're like,
yeah.
yeah, like out of all these other creatures that we watched, it was just like, I mean, he was weirdly the most human.
I think it's interesting that the first and second place both end their story as a human. Because
Oh,
R becomes human, the
and
Beast famously becomes that
yes,
prince. Yeah.
that's true. And then also, I mean, the creature, he's
Human
undead.
yeah.
Yeah, he's more human. He becomes less of a monster. Edward Cullen stays a monster. Scott Howell stays a monster, but we love
Yeah.
it. So
Yeah.
yeah, that is really interesting. We love a I can change him story,
We
I
do.
guess.
We do.
So Cullen, did you vote for Scott
I
Howell?
did. He's a sweet boy. He loves sports ball. He loves his friends, and he's just a fun time. I love a himbo, and he's a
Yep.
werewolf, which is adds a level to it.
Love a fuzzy guy.
Yeah, play Monster Prom and Monster
Yeah.
Road Trip
Can
and
I be
Monster
honest? I've
Camp.
actually been itching to play that game again.
It's a
Because
fun game.
I was like, I know I didn't play it right the last time. I'm like, okay, I can figure out how this game works.
You're like, I want that Gorgon. Just say
Yes,
yeah.
honestly.
Yeah,
Um,
and we can play Monster Road Trip, and then
yeah.
upcoming is Monster Con.
Oh,
It takes place at a
interesting.
Comic Con.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Who do you think I voted for?
Mm. R,
No.
the creature.
Yep. I it was between those two, but then I
Mhm.
was like, he cut that guy's dick off for her, and there's something romantic about that, I guess.
Classic chivalry, old school
Was
chivalry.
so fucking crazy. Like it's been long enough since I've seen it that now I'm like, I want to watch it again.
That was a
So
time. That was a fun movie.
it was such a fun movie to talk about. Seriously, if you have not seen it and you're of, appropriate age, please go watch it because it is so fucking funny. Oh my God.
Yeah. I'm,
And just wild.
yeah, wild. But I'm not surprised R1. I'm not surprised the Beast did well because if Scott
Yeah.
wasn't on this, I probably would have voted for the Beast. He's got a big house, and even in Beast form, still kind of hot.
I think most people prefer him in beast form.
Yeah.
Isn't that what we learned? Everyone was like, boo, human form.
I
So
think they're being a little harsh. He's got a
I,
strong nose. He's got flowing locks.
yeah, I'm not into it.
He's got a great back.
True. All right. let's move on to our next
Our
category.
most slay villainous girl slay.
Go girl, give us evil.
Go girl, give us evil. So this I slightly cheated with our system and was like, I just have to. But this one has six. Because I just couldn't not nominate Kate Blanchett. Our nominees are the White Witch from the Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe, Lilith from Diablo 4, Seraphine from Beautiful Creatures, Ursula from The Little Mermaid, Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty, and Lady Tremaine from the live action Disney Cinderella. Coming in fifth place, we have Lilith
Hmm.
from Diablo 4. Coming in fourth place is Lady Tremaine, played by Kate Blanchett.
Hmm.
Coming in third is Maleficent, the mistress of all evil. Coming in second is the White Witch, Tilda Swinton, Jadis. And then receiving no votes is Seraphine, played by Emma Thompson in Beautiful Creatures, which is unfortunate because Emma was him in it and I
She
loved it.
ate up every bit of scenery that she
Yeah.
had. It was just chewed to bits.
Winning is our plus size LGBT icon queen, the mother of Slay herself, Ursula from The Little Mermaid.
Ah, it feels good. It feels good. This feels like a win for me.
Like, I'd like to
As
accept this award on her behalf because she was
exactly.
impaled by a ship, but
Um, I and we also want to preface that this is the animated Ursula. This is
Ursula.
not
Yes. This is Pat
uh
Carroll's animated
yes.
Ursula. Yeah.
Um, I should have wore that shirt. I didn't even think about it. But yeah, no, like she is I mean, there are so many cool villainesses, but like she's top dog. I'm not
Yeah.
surprised that Seraphine got 0 votes because I feel like no one has seen that movie.
Yeah, it was a bit of a
Um,
deep cut, but I mean,
where else was Beautiful Creatures gonna go besides that and then our
uh,
hero? Like,
yeah,
um, but yeah, I mean, I'm glad that Lilith got a shout out because
yeah,
also that character, like that character design is super cool.
it's so
And
cool.
again,
She was
her
right.
motivation, she's right. Like, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Um,
Sorry to this man who's the protagonist of Diablo 4.
yeah. And then like pretty much like the other ones were really close, which makes
Yeah.
sense. Like,
Maleficent, I think, started in the lead.
yes,
Because
that
I
makes
felt like it
sense.
was going to, I mean, but the White Witch, I mean, this is a tight race. There's
Yes.
some, because even, Lady Tremaine's Kate Blanchett, like she held some sway. Just, yeah. I mean, I think I voted for Maleficent
Mhm.
because she is the mistress of all evil. She
True.
is a slay. She did her entire plot for the drama. Uh, but I mean, all of these are great villainesses. But I mean, Ursula deserves it.
Yeah. She's she's a bad bitch.
She's a bad bitch, and they did kill her, unfortunately. But
Yeah.
she lived forever in our hearts.
Yep. She will live on.
She'll live on.
Um, so I think it's time for songs.
Mhm.
So we have our most iconic songs. We have 5 nominees. Start with Let It Go from Frozen, Keep Holding On from Aragon,
Mhm.
A Dream is a Wish Your Heart Makes from Cinderella, Part of Your
Animated
World,
classic.
animated,
Yeah.
Part of Your World from The Little Mermaid, also the animated, and then The Last Unicorn from The Last Unicorn. Um, so this one's an interesting one. Um,
Yeah.
in last place is Cullen's favorite song about a blue dragon. It's Keep
Mm.
Holding On, with 4%. So, a really small slice of the pie. Love it. Next in fourth place is The Last Unicorn from The Last Unicorn. That doesn't shock me. I feel like that's a bit more of a deep cut
Yeah.
option. And then What is that? Third place. A dream is a wish your heart makes. Another well, I guess it's a classic song, so
Yeah.
maybe it's not like that surprising. Then in second place, now this kind of shocked me a little bit, but then again, we're mostly adults, so
Yeah.
maybe it doesn't. In second place is Let It Go from Frozen, and then in first place, Part of Your World, more than half the vote.
Yeah,
Uh,
52%.
which yeah, now that I think about it, I'm like, okay, no, that makes sense. Like we're not, we weren't 5 years old when that song came out. Probably most of us, actually.
Yeah.
No, no, we would not have been 5 years old. Um, yeah. So I mean, I voted for Part of Your World because I love that song. I love singing it in the shower. It's a great shower song. The reverberation sounds great.
I think I voted for A Dream is a Wish Your Heart Makes. Uh, I think because I think it is a better Disney anthem than When You Wish Upon a Star. And When You Wish Upon a Star gets all the love. But A Dream is Wish Your Heart Makes as a song is actually inspirational to a point where it's like
Right.
believing in your dreams. There's like a concept of like believing in your dreams in the face of trouble, where When You Wish Upon a Star just says, oh, if you wish upon
Your
a star,
dreams
it
come
will be
true.
granted. There's no
Yeah.
connection to like your character or working towards a dream or hardship. And that also
Yeah.
reflects in like the story of like what Geppetto's wish versus Cinderella's and how those come to
True.
be. So I think it is underrated, but I'm not surprised Part of Your World because it is the I Want song.
Yep.
It is the blueprint. Everyone else is trying to be part of your world. uh Let It Go shook up the blueprint, and it was in the lead for a while because I think it is, you can't
It
deny its cultural impact.
yep, Adele Dazeem, you
Adele
know.
Dazeem. uh and I'm glad Keep Holding On made in with 4%.
Yep,
Because it is iconic in its own way.
exactly.
And yeah, The Last Unicorn is a deep cut, so its spot makes sense, but it is iconic in its own right. It is the
It
best song about unicorns. Yeah,
it is it's a weird song.
it
It's
is.
like
It's
it's
mournful.
trippy.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
So
whole movie's trippy, but
sorry to the MLP fan base, but this is the best unicorn song out there. Read it and weep, Twilight Sparkle.
wow, I can't believe you're calling out the bronies right now.
Yeah. The bronies can fight me. There is I have a plush from Thelma the Unicorn because my company made it. And so like we're celebrating it. And my cousin comes over, like my husband's cousin, and is like, "Why do you have that?" I'm like, "Oh, like it's a movie I help support." And he's like, "Oh, I thought you were into like weird stuff for a second." I was like, "Do you do you think I'm a brony?"
I mean, listen, there people who are bronies, it can be shocking. A shocking revelation.
It can. I mean,
I don't
my
have any examples,
I had
but
a
I
friend
know
who
that it
was,
can shock people.
as far as I know, an ironic brony.
Mm, okay,
Because I don't think he watched the show. I think he just like wore brony stuff to annoy people.
got it.
And he went to the college where that kicker just spoke and everyone was upset.
Yes.
He went there and he hated that school, and he had to they made you take like phys ed class, and he would come dressed as a My Little Pony. He is a
Oh my
very
God.
straight man, like a very like he loves football and like building houses, but he also loves to troll people, and that's probably why we're still friends.
I love your characteristics of a straight man.
Yeah, I
Is
mean, he
you love
also loves like
football,
paintball,
you love no, it's you love football and he loves building houses.
Yeah.
That's what straight men do.
Yeah, he is also white. Yeah, but he's like, because he's like one of those people that's like, that's just how he is. He's not putting on a performance of heterosexual masculinity. That's
But
just like his personality. Yeah.
I do appreciate the commitment to the bit. Like
Hmm.
that's great.
He's committed
Love
a
it.
bit. And that's why, again, why we're still friends from high school. uh Dumbest hero. It's fitting
Mhm.
that I take this one.
As a
uh,
DBU
as
alum,
a DBU alum.
president of the Alumni Association from
Yes.
DBU.
Uh, this we have 5 nominees, and 2 of them received no votes. So this is quite a sweep. We have Ethan Carter-White from Beautiful Creatures. We have Pinocchio from Pinocchio: A True Story, played by Pauly Shore. Uh, she should be Cinderella, but I typed out in this form Camila Cabello's Cinderella from Cinderella 2021, Amazon Cinderella. We have Beck from Gods of Egypt. That's Brenton Thwaite's character. And we have Taryn from The Black Cauldron.
Animal
Uh,
abuser.
and Hannah's the nemesis. So coming in third place with 11.5% of the vote is Taryn. And coming in second with 42.3% of the vote is Pinocchio.
Yes.
And sweeping with 46, close to sweep. It's
It's not a
close.
sweep. That's like half.
Close. 46.2% of the vote is our only female nominee, Camila Cabello's Cinderella.
Women win.
Women win. Girl boss. She girl bossed her way to the top of this award.
She did, yeah.
Yeah.
And then of course no votes went to Beck from Gods of Egypt or Ethan Waite from Beautiful
Yeah.
Creatures. Yeah. So
That's a
that, I
real
mean,
win for the straight white men, I guess. Well, most of these
um,
were straight white men, right?
yeah,
Because 2 of them were just animated.
exactly.
And one was wooden, so ethnicity debatable.
Questionable.
He
Yeah,
ended as a blonde, so
we can
just as human
assume.
form. Yeah.
Yeah, we can assume that that is a white man.
So those are,
Um,
I mean, it was close between 2 the universally hated versions of beloved characters.
yes, that's true. Pinocchio, yeah, Pauly Shore's Pinocchio and Camila Cabello's Cinderella.
I mean,
I think I may have specified the Camila Cabello part because I love saying that. Camila
goodness.
Cabello's Cinderella.
Well, I remember Andrew on that episode from Glee was like, "Oh my God, we hate her," and it's like we were dragging her, but also I do feel like the movie. There are times where like they used a take where it's like I'm sure she could give you a better take, or like you felt like I felt like she wasn't getting the direction, or like the dress didn't fit her right, and you're like,
Yeah,
"Oh my gosh,
the
she's your
movie
lead
hated her.
actress." Like
Yeah,
give her a new hairdo for the ball, put her like fit the dress to her body. Like I'm sure she's not a hard person to fit and make look
yeah,
good. She's a beautiful woman.
exactly. Yeah, that's crazy. So I'm
Yeah.
glad she's getting the recognition that she deserves.
As the dumbest hero. Because I mean, sitting on that statue, what about my work? I could hear my mom turning off the TV.
Yeah, but I mean, I think that pretty much everyone in that movie is dumb.
Yeah.
So it's just
Except
like
for
a
Minnie
dumb
Driver.
movie. No, well, she was kind of dumb for marrying him, the king.
Oh yeah, I
It was a
guess.
love marriage, and like, so that means like
She liked it. She
she,
saw that and was
yeah,
like
she
more pleased.
chose him.
Yeah.
So yeah, everyone's just a little bit stupid at least. Um, and then Pinocchio, I have nothing else to say.
I
That's who
mean,
I voted for.
I think I voted for Camilla because I think I care about the character of Cinderella way more than Pinocchio. Pinocchio to
Yeah,
me baffles Pinocchio, like the fact that it has as many adaptations as it does, to me is unfair. Whereas like Cinderella, I'm like, yes, we have too many adaptations, but as a story, it deserves it.
you
And like
get it.
each moment is like iconic in its own way, so it's fun to be like, how would you do it differently? Whereas Pinocchio, like none of these adaptations even hit the same beats. It's like this
Yeah,
people do it to talk about like God and fatherhood and creation or whatever. Pinocchio True Story was just like, what if nothing about the story mattered? And you're like,
what
well,
if we
why this?
had two versions of Nicholas Holt in this movie,
Yes.
but
Uh
opposite faces?
yeah,
Yeah.
so that's Dumbest Hero.
Well, I mean, it totally makes sense that I'm doing the next category,
Yes.
loveliest princess. Two things I've never been described as. Um, so this one was a pretty tight
This
race,
is a tight race.
like super tight race. So we have our five nominees. So we have Ariel from The Little Mermaid, the live action.
Mhm.
We have Moana from Moana, the animated. We have Arwen from Fellowship of the Ring. We have Delia from More Than Life, the book by Bethany Finger. And then we also have Aurora slash Briar Rose from Sleeping Beauty. And so we do have a good, everyone got votes, which is great. And we do have a little slice dedicated to our fifth place. It's Delia from the More Than Life book. Please go get the book, check it out, support our friend
And
Bethany.
there's multiple books in the series that are out right
Yes,
now. That first
you're
book
right,
was
they are.
great. And I think there's even more lore that we get about Delia.
That's
So
exciting.
yeah.
So yeah, go check out those books. All three of them are available, and it's Wise Wolf Books. Also, it looks like you can find them on Amazon. But also request them at your local library. There you go. So we got some love for Delia. And then in fourth place, again, a tight race for all of them, Arwen, Fellowship of the Ring. So she got 19% of the vote. And then tied for third place, we have both Aurora and Ariel from the live action movies with about 23%. And then taking the lead for first place is Moana with almost 31%. Now, this kind of shocks me because, I mean, it's a tight race, but like, I wonder if it's because people have that love for that intense love for the animated Ariel.
Yeah.
Because again, like same with the part of your world, like that is part of our childhood.
Yeah.
She is part of our childhood. This new Ariel, we haven't developed that same connection yet.
Yeah. But Hallie's performance, she was so
Amazing.
sweet and
That's a
just
movie that
so
I think I want to go back and rewatch too.
I think so that's why I felt like that's where that live action Little Mermaid belonged in nominees because it's like I think
Yeah.
she's really the reason to watch the live action Little Mermaid.
Yes.
Uh
I
yeah.
mean, it's not the Scuttlebutt song.
What?
Yeah.
And but this
I'm
was
gonna
tight. Yeah.
I'm gonna say I thought Sleeping Beauty was gonna win. I did not realize that we had the stands for Moana out there, and I'm so happy we do.
Because Moana she goes on this whole journey. I think she's a
Yep.
modern princess without being like, I'm a modern princess. She just does
Yeah.
it. And that's why we love Moana. Yeah, I mean, Arwen got some love, but I think I'm happy as I think I voted for Sleeping Beauty. We know I love her. I'm happy with her showing. People came out, they supported, they love her charm, they love her as an improv queen, they love her yes-anding through that movie. But I mean, respect to Moana. She sailed her boat across the ocean. She made Maui board her boat, and she restored the heart of Tahiti.
Weirdly enough, it was between Moana and Arwen, and I chose Arwen because I was
Really?
just remembering like the Evanescence moment. I was like, she has like depression energy, and I'm depressed. As a depressed person, I'm like, I think she's my princess.
If
Like,
you want him, come and claim him. Water
exactly.
horses.
Yeah, it's like she's just got that like depressed girl energy that I am about.
Yeah.
So,
She was literally like dying for most of that trilogy.
yeah.
Next, again, fitting for me. No, maybe. We're talking Biggest Loser, not the show
I
that
was gonna
gave
say,
me
not the
warped perceptions of healthy
mhm.
habits. We're talking just Biggest Loser we've met on this podcast. Our nominees include Lisa's dad from Lisa Frankenstein. I don't think he had a name, and I never bothered to look it up for this whole
Nope,
process.
don't care.
He doesn't deserve it. Urkele from Luca.
Yeah.
Fireball, the stuffy-nosed reindeer from Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, the
Yeah.
claymation classic. Harry from About Time, the playwright roommate, and Horace from Gods of Egypt.
Yep.
And
Great nominees.
great nominees. Coming in last place with 7.7% of the vote is Harry from About Time.
Mhm.
And then fourth, our fourth third, that's a tie between Horace, Down on His Luck God, and Lisa's dad, Loser Father. Uh, And this was a tight race until one kind of cleared ahead. So coming in second is Urkele from Luca, which he deserves. He was an 18-year-old competing in a children's race and bullying children.
Yes. The
Uh,
bullying children part is the really bad one.
and then the winner is that homophobic, stuffy nosed reindeer. How
Fireball.
Fireball. I'm glad because I was like, this is kind of a deep cut. I'm glad that people came out and supported this pick. I think I
They really
voted for
did.
Urkele because he sucks. He tries to
I
kill
voted for
them.
Horace.
I
I was like,
mean,
he's a god and he's literally so lame.
yeah, truly. But I mean that reindeer, he
That reindeer
instantly
does
turned on
suck.
Rudolph.
Yeah.
Instant, no regrets, no questions.
Yeah.
And he was so heteronormative.
Mhm.
2024, let's cancel Fireball.
Yeah, God, how long ago was that movie? 1964. So that's a certain number of years. Let's do
Yeah.
it. Finally, get the justice we deserve.
I mean, I made it happen for the song Imagine back in Glee. So
That's true. God,
yeah.
remember that had a resurgence because of the pandemic and celebrities being tone deaf
Yeah.
in more ways than one. Nailed it.
Nailed it.
Yeah, I mean, these were all good picks. Yeah, like Ercole, God, his like
He's
outfit
gonna
and his face, and he's got a little
his
mustache, and it's just
and he's
I want
just
to punch him.
he's bullying children. And it's like it's bad enough to be a bully when you're also a child, but then to be like
You're
you're
actually an adult.
18, you're an adult, and you're like, I'm faster than a 12-year-old. It's like, well, I hope so.
Yeah,
And
like if your motor skills aren't better by now, like you should probably go to the doctor and check it out.
yeah. So and then he's gonna straight up kill Luca and Alberto at one point, right? He's got that
Yeah.
spear.
Yeah,
Like during Pride Month.
homophobic.
Yeah.
Wait, how many of these people do you think are homophobic?
The
Is Lisa's dad
losers,
homophobic?
probably. I think all five. Well,
I feel
Horace,
Horace
Horace,
definitely not.
yeah,
Horace swings every way.
Horace swings everywhere.
And I think
He
Harry from
Beck
About
was his
Time,
emotional support twink, I think is what we said.
that
Yeah.
yes. I think Harry from About Time being in the theater, he's probably like
He's not,
whatever.
he uses slurs, but he doesn't have any actual issues with gay people. Like he
Yes.
believes in gay rights, but he will use the F slur.
Exactly, exactly. I think
Yeah.
that's right. And then the rest of them are definitely homophobic.
Yeah. Lisa's
Um,
dad is probably too apathetic to do anything about it, though.
absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So our next category, wow, I can't believe I'm doing this because I'm so stylish. Wearing slightly monochromatic clothing. Um, so we have most stylish fits. So our
This has been a
nominees,
tight race the whole time.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, we have some bangers here. So we have Lily James as Cinderella from the live action Disney Cinderella. We have Santa Claus from Santa Claus is Coming to Town, which was a very deep cut.
It's
One
an
of the most
iconic, stylish
interesting,
fit.
I mean, I guess you're right. Belle from Beauty and the Beast animated, uh, Lisa from Lisa Frankenstein, and then Peter Pevensey from the Chronicles of Narnia, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. And so we have in last place Santa Claus from Santa Claus is Coming to Town. It's iconic, but perhaps it's not stylish.
True, true.
People are like, it's iconic, but maybe not stylish. Then in fourth place, we have Peter Pevensey. And then in third place, we have Lisa from Lisa Frankenstein.
Mhm.
And then tied for first place, we have Lily James, Cinderella, and Belle from Beauty and the Beast, the animated version. That, I mean, two princesses.
Two princesses.
It doesn't get more stylish than that, kind of. I
Yeah.
mean,
I
they
mean,
set the trends.
they both have a lot of really great outfits.
Mhm.
They're stylist, well paid. I mean, that wardrobe and that godmother, I hope they get the credit they deserve.
Yeah.
Uh I mean, yeah, this was tight up until the very end.
Wow.
Because I think as of like this morning, Lily James's Cinderella was winning, but then for a while Belle was winning. I think they're both people that would be good natured enough to share the award.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Cinderella
They
would be
they
like,
they
oh,
break
yeah,
they
they
break
break
the
it.
award in half and they share it. And
Cinderella
then
would
they
be like,
each break their pieces and they throw it
give it to
with other
their mice and their objects. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cinderella would be like, oh no, 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 like we can. She's actually doing this right now as we live comment. She's like, oh no, no,
Yep.
you can have it, Belle. And Belle's like, you know what? How about we split it?
Mhm.
And that's how it gets started. And then Chip is
Yeah.
like, I want a
And
piece.
Gaston in the
Yeah.
back is going, not the crown,
Not the
like
crown.
Damien
Yeah.
is.
Like Damien. Yeah.
Gross.
Uh
No, it's LeFou, sorry, because he's
LeFou.
gay.
Well, this is the animated LeFou. I don't know. So the live action LeFou is
True,
like
true, true, true.
uh
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, they both because Belle has a lot of different outfits for a Disney character. She
Mhm.
has like four. Uh
For Disney
and
animated character, that's a
yeah.
lot.
And Cinderella doesn't have a ton. She has
No.
two or three. But that ball gown,
And her wedding dress is really
oh,
pretty.
and yeah, and her wedding dress of four, yeah. So she had my vote because she looked amazing.
Who do you think I voted for?
Lisa.
Of course.
I mean, she is goth queen.
I mean, I literally like I wish I had the balls in high school to dress like that. Like, I wish I had the balls to dress like that now.
Do it.
Actually, it's not even balls. Like this point, it's not balls. It's just money.
Fair, fair.
The money and like motivation to like clean out my closet, get new stuff, and actually start wearing outfits. But so yes, Lisa from Lisa Frankenstein, that that fucking weirdo, she's my style icon.
She had some great outfits.
But I also love the 80s and
Yeah.
like the very like 80s style of that, like whether or not it's super accurate, I don't care. It's just like it's such a vibe and an aesthetic that I don't know, it just makes me happy. And it's goth. Come on.
Mm-hmm. Now, I did have to nominate Peter, which would be a surprise, but I think of male fashion, one of our
True.
highlights, he has his armor look. Lord of the
Hmm.
Rings is shaking. I'm sorry, but like he has the best armor. He looks really good in his armor.
Yeah.
And he has a great like royal robes and great like his like little leather jerkin thing. I think
Mhm.
he's the gold standard for dressing like a male fantasy character.
Right.
Because they don't lean too heavily into like leather pants.
Right.
So it's like it's not too anachronistic, but they don't lean too heavily into tights to be off-putting for a modern audience.
Right.
And especially because he was like a young, I mean, I think he was like 17, 18 at the time. Like I don't want to see that much of a teenager. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And Prince Kit put him in those see-through pants, but let's cover up William. In 2005. But yeah, I think his even his British clothes, whatever, they're whatever. But
Yeah, because I mean
yeah,
his British clothes are set in the 40s,
yeah,
so
that's
like
probably what dragged him down a bit in the polls. But I
yeah,
wanted some male rep
yeah,
equality for most
equality.
stylish fits. Yeah. Let's get to our no TP. Please don't get together. So we have five couples nominated. We have Edward and Bella from Twilight. We have Pinocchio and Bella from Pinocchio: A True Story. We have Claire and Henry from The Time Traveler's Wife. We have Belle and the Beast from Beauty and the Beast, live action, 2017. And we have Francesco and Antivia, the D&D characters that we made. Because I was like,
I
where else are we nominating the D&D episode?
This is what a lineup. And look, these results, crazy.
Crazy. So coming in last place with 11.5% of the vote is Pinocchio and Bella.
But I want to be very clear that these votes, even if you voted for one, right, you can't vote for all of them.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you support the other relationships. We
I
all
mean,
agree these are no TPs,
I was
hopefully.
I don't know. I was gonna say maybe the Pinocchio and Bella stands were out there for their OTP. They're like, let our blue-haired ethereal girl get her wooden puppet boy.
No, I think if anyone's out there, it's the Edward and Bella stands,
Yeah,
or all
and
those Francesco and Activia stands.
well, because we have a three-way tie for the middle of this with like 15% of the vote. We have Francesco and Activia. We have
That's
a live
funny.
action Belle and the Beast, and we have Claire and Henry from The Time Traveler's Wife.
Yeah, I mean, that's so funny. And then winning,
Winning
obviously.
42.3% of the vote is Edward and Bella from Twilight.
Mm,
Of course, because as much as I hated book Bella, Kristen Stewart is a little more charming, but I'm like, I don't want this for you.
no. And
Don't,
I mean, all of these couples end up together except for Francesco and Activia
yeah, we
because
gave the
they
people
haven't
what they
gone
wanted.
they haven't gone on the adventure yet.
They
So
haven't, yeah. I do love how there's three variants of the name Belle or Bella or Beautiful in
yes,
this lineup.
there's two Bellas and one Belle.
Yeah.
Yep.
I know technically Bella is Isabella.
But she goes by Bella.
Yeah.
She
And
doesn't like
she's adamant
Isabella.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's
Uh
just Bella.
just Bella. I mean, listening to Passages Pod talk about Twilight. Ooh, it is fun, but it is rough to relive that book that I didn't even finish because I was like, oh god, I hate this girl
Yeah,
so
I
much.
finished it. Yeah, I have not listened yet because I literally am like, I still need separation. And that was in February. Oh my
I mean,
God.
my favorite part is you're like the journey of one girl learning her classmates' names.
It's true though. That's what the book is.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. These are lining up perfect. We just randomly were like, I guess I'll start, but
This is
wow.
hilarious. So, this is most that's my girl moment.
That's my girl. That's
That's my
my
girl.
girl. I
I
feel like
actually
that
don't know
song,
how the rest of the song goes. I only know
well,
the that's my girl. That's how it
that's
starts.
that song only exists for like fan videos. I think like
Yeah.
there you're listening to it in
Fan
no other
cams.
context.
Yeah.
Yeah. They played in the
uh
lobby at work once, and I was trying to explain that to like the security guard. I was like, this is only exists for that very specific context. He's like, I don't know what you're talking about, but okay.
shout out to that guy for,
Shout out to
listening
Mike.
to
He has great short films.
yeah, shout out.
Actually, maybe want him on the pod someday. We'll see.
There we go. We
Hmm.
got to find the movie.
Yeah.
So, for most that's my girl moment, we're looking at moments that are like, yes, that is my girl.
Hmm.
Those like big moments for these characters. So we
Oh,
have
we have an upset because one of these was in the lead up until I checked like
wow.
recently. So this
I mean,
is
this was a
tight.
hard one. I had to go back to this one because I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I had to come back. So first we have Cinderella escaping the demented pumpkin coach in Cinderella 3 A Twist in Time.
Bad kitty.
And we have I Am Moana, the big song from Moana.
Hmm.
We have Brandy's Cinderella realizing that she doesn't deserve this and leaving her step family from Rodgers and Hammerstein's Cinderella. Then we also have Awen saying, I am no man, and then stabbing the Witch King in Return of the King. And then we have Polly telling Jala, all flirty, I'll be practicing in Bionicle Mask of Light, an iconic film.
Hmm. Cinema.
This is really interesting. So our last place is tied with about 11.5% each. We have Polly and Jala's I'll be practicing. And then we also have Cinderella 3, A Twist in Time, her escaping from that crazy pumpkin coach. So these are tied for fifth. Then we have in third place, I Am Moana. Again, iconic moment.
Hmm.
Gotta give it up for her. And then tied for first place, I'm assuming this is the upset.
Yeah.
We are tied with Brandy Cinderella realizing she doesn't deserve her stepfamily and leaving them, and then Awen saying, I am no man. I mean, listen, I voted for Awen because I was like, these are all so good, but I was like, which one gives me the chills of being like, yes. And I was between probably I am Moana and Awen, and then also Brandy Cinderella. I think those are my three. And then it was like, okay, I do get the chills when I hear I am Moana. I was like, I don't know. Awen.
It's a tough one because these are all moments that make me feel that. But Brandy's was in the lead a long time. And I think
Yep.
because that moment, like we talked about when we did the Cinderella series, that even though I don't think that's my favorite Cinderella movie, I think she's hands down has like the best, clearest arc where like she
Yeah.
goes through that experience and she's like, Dad, I don't deserve this. I'm not staying anymore because I deserve better. And it's
Yep.
really simple and very sweetly done. And so that is just like a you go. You know, she retains a very classic Cinderella persona, but she's like, why can't I be the princess? And she just to her stepmother, and then she's not even trying to be princess at the end. She leaves, and then they it's a great moment. But I mean, Eowyn. I mean, I thought that was gonna be in the lead the whole time.
Oh,
So
interesting. Yeah.
yeah, I'm happy that someone else also voted. We have multiple votes for Holly. Uh,
Yeah,
it is
you
a
got a small group
we
of
got a
folks who
small
are
group.
like, I'm behind you.
Yeah, because it is so hilarious. And also the fact that Cinderella in Cinderella 3 got multiple votes,
Yeah.
you know, for her bad kitty breaking
Well,
out of the
because
pumpkin coach.
she's like super active during that
Yeah,
moment. I mean, she doesn't really have a choice.
yeah.
Uh,
She's gonna fucking die if she does not
yeah,
get
oh
on
my
that
fucking
coach.
god, she's gonna fucking die.
Yeah. So I'm glad that like because I feel we had three that were like, well, you know what? I am glad that people appreciated Brandy because I wasn't
Yes.
sure if people would remember that as a moment because it is like a softer moment. But
Yeah.
it is really strong. And
It's
then
very much
like,
a character moment. The rest of them are more, well, I am a one is a character moment,
yeah,
but everything else is kind of like more plot driven
yeah.
moments. So,
Uh, but yeah, I'm glad that, wow, feminism is winning because people really appreciated all these different moments. They appreciated a woman expressing her sexuality, a woman breaking free, a woman accepting who she is, defying gender roles, fighting off against magic.
yep. I
Yeah, women
mean,
can do everything.
women are powerful.
Yeah.
Happy Women's History Month in the past and in the future.
I mean, hey, I was at a comedy show in December once where they're like, it was just Pride Month. And I was like, oh, 6 months ago. So
Update your material.
yeah, he really needed to. It was rough.
Ooh, yikes.
Of course, as one, I'm licensed to speak on this. We're talking about the hottest guy. And this is where because when I was like, what if I put Kate in, I should have put Paulo in for Edison Hammerson Cinderella because he
Uh-huh.
was hot. And so I had a
True.
system based on when we like picked our favorite episodes and our favorite movies. And then Kate Blanchett was outside of that. I just was like, oh, I'm just gonna throw her in. But I was like, it was already open, but I was like, I should have put Paulo. And if it hadn't already been open, I would have put Paulo in.
Right.
So shout out to him. Uh hot. See him in the new Descendants movie. He's still hot. So is Brandy. So we have our nominees, unfortunately do not include Paulo, but they include Harry from All of Us Strangers, played by Paul Mescal,
Mm.
Prince Robert from I put Cinderella 2015, sorry, 2021, Amazon's, played by Nicholas Galitzine. That actor's carrying a lot of weight, more than the character probably. Aragorn from Two Towers, but really the whole Lord of the Rings trilogy, played by Viggo Mortensen. Duke Leopold from Kate and Leopold, played by Hugh Jackman. And Prince
Mhm.
Kit from Cinderella 2015, played by Richard Madden in those white pants.
Yeah.
Uh,
It's I mean,
I'm
not a
not
bad turn.
surprised. Yeah, I'm not surprised with the results. It was a tight race, and these are some hotties. But coming in fifth place with 11.5% of the vote is Prince Robert. I think that actor
He
is carrying the weight. I think
but
Nicholas.
also he was up against a stacked crew,
Yeah. Yeah, I
right? So
think
we have Viggo
he
Mortensen was a sex symbol for many years.
yeah,
Hugh Jackman probably still, even though he's not like
yeah.
in a lot of popular movies. Hugh Jackman still a sex symbol. Uh, oh
Paul
my God.
Mescal,
Well, Paul Mescal's a newer
sex
hot
symbol.
guy.
Yeah.
But what's his name from Game of
Richard
Thrones?
Madden,
Like
yeah.
Richard Madden, still a sex symbol. We still love him. I think this guy, like,
I mean, he was just dating Anne Hathaway in that movie, Idea of
That's
You.
true. So
I
maybe
think,
he's about to hit his popular hot
yeah.
guy arc.
I mean, he in everything, but I think again, I think this character got any votes because of said actor. Because I don't
Yeah,
think he was super hot in that movie, but this was because they decided to nominate something else instead of Queen Minnie Driver for Unsung Hero. I was
right.
like, okay, so we're putting Nicholas in Hottest Guy. I guess Prince Robert, but really we're it's for Nicholas. And then tied in third place, we have Harry from All of Us Strangers and Duke Leopold from Kate and Leopold.
Wow. I
Uh,
mean, I
he
thought
did
Hugh
not
Jackman
get
would be up there, up there.
he did not get votes at first, and I was kind of like, Hugh Jackman.
Maybe people haven't seen this movie. I'm telling you,
Yeah, and I think that's the to me this is
especially
the
people
hottest
our
Hugh
age.
Jackmans I've seen. Sorry to Wolverine.
Yeah, I
Sorry to the
don't.
Greatest Showman. Famous sexy movie, Greatest Showman. Please no jokes. And then coming in second place with 19% of the vote is Prince Kit from Cinderella in those
Mhm.
tight-fitting outfits and those color-corrected
So
blue
tight,
eyes.
so
So
tight, so
tight, so
blue,
color-corrected. Ooh,
much
yeah.
color corrected.
And then, really surprising no one, sweeping with 38.5% of the vote is Viggo Mortensen's Aragorn,
Yeah,
our sweaty, greasy guy.
I,
He's
you know,
pushing those doors open,
but he's also sensitive, and he's a
and
horse girl.
he's a horse girl, and he can speak languages, and he has soft eyes, but he's strong
Yeah,
and tough, and he's gonna fight for you.
exactly.
Did you
And we
vote for
don't
Aragorn?
have to change him.
We
He's
don't.
already perfect.
True, 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 true.
I voted for so much Lord of the Rings, which is so funny, is because like I think when we were watching it, I was like really on the fence.
Yeah.
But like but I think by the time we got to the third movie, I had like gained that new appreciation. And so I think all of those feelings came up when I was voting. So
Well, we discussed, I remember, because I was like, I think Faramir's it for me. Yeah, he shaves his
right.
nipples, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, you can't deny the king, the true king.
The true king. That's true.
Yeah, the true king of men. But I think as we know, I voted for Prince Kit.
Yeah.
He's gonna
I
sweep me
almost
off my
voted for
feet.
him. It was between him and Aragorn.
I mean, when he touches her back and she's like,
But I think
relatable.
I I think I prefer him in uh
The
he has just
bodyguard,
gotten yes, he's just gotten more and more handsome as he's gotten older.
the
Uh,
Medici's.
he looks great in that. That's a
Uh,
I feel like that's a deep cut. I
that
don't
is a
think
deep
anyone
cut.
has seen that, and I
Uh,
have. Um, Game of Thrones, like I think he's really good in sort of like right before he dies, like that season, he's like a really hunky. And that would be right around the time that this was filmed.
yeah.
But I think I prefer as he's gotten older, just like the
Mhm.
gray and yeah,
Elton
fabulous.
John when he was in the Rocket
Oh
Man.
yeah. The
He's
dark hair and
in,
dark eyebrows, like I was like at first I was like, whoa, and then I was like, whoa.
I mean, the Eternals.
Yes, that movie atrocious, but he looks fabulous.
I okay, we don't want to get on a tangent. It's like I liked the idea of the Eternals. I think the marvel
I
of
did not.
it was keeping me from liking it because the amount of like lore things you have to do to fit into
True.
an MCU and the fact that like they're like these are like the kind of the basis for the gods, but they have like weirdly specific names, and half of those names are not major deities, and their attributes don't really reflect major deities. I was like, it's too much for
Yeah,
me.
it's it's weird. Don't like
Yeah.
the idea, don't like the execution, but I do like Richard Madden. That would be interesting to talk about them and like their god counterparts, like who the world misinterpreted them as,
Yeah.
kind of thing. That would be kind of
Yeah.
an interesting way to talk about it
Yeah,
because
but I
there's
think
nothing
that,
else interesting in that movie.
yeah, and I think they fumbled the bag in that because I think Marvel likes to play with mythology, but is so has no serious understanding of it.
Yeah. Anyway,
Are you ready
I
for a category that I hope did not offend anyone, but we're just having fun.
best thruple. Friends, love triangles. They're in this category. Doesn't matter the dynamic.
Yeah, I want to
Um,
specify because I don't believe these are all sexual relationships, and nor do I desire them to be. Considering I think one of them is specifically children. But there is like a throuple dynamic. There is like
yeah.
three
And I think
people, we're a trio.
yeah, and I think thruple is like more commonplace to say
Mhm.
when especially when it comes to media and stuff.
But there is a romantic tension, which is why it's more than a trio.
Yeah,
That's
romantic tension, but also even just like a friendship tension.
yeah,
Again, because we talked about in Luca that like it could be interpreted romantic, but it can also be interpreted just like
friends.
jealousy as friends.
Yeah.
Speaking of, we have five nominees yet again.
Mhm.
We have going back to episode one, baby,
Mhm.
Jacob, Wilhelm, and Angelica from the Brothers Grimm. We have
Jala.
Jala, Holly, and Takua from Bionicle Mask of Light. Um, we have Joaquin, Manolo, and Maria, Book of Life. That was like episode three.
Three. Yeah.
That's crazy. Then we have Luca, Alberto, and Julia from Luca. And then we have Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather from Sleeping Beauty.
And that is a relationship I do believe is sexual and romantic in nature.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
Um,
Maybe not as much now that they're older, but it
it
was
was when
there.
they were
And I think
young.
it still is.
Whoo!
And I think it still is. They keep a
Maybe
bit of
it's
that fire, a bit of that
maybe it's
spark.
I was gonna say maybe it's a bit more of the romance, less of
Yeah.
the sex.
But old people,
But I
they
mean,
like to
but they're also
get on too, you
fairies.
know?
They're fairies. Can't they just
Yeah.
be like, I don't know. Anyway, so I think
Fairy
what
sex is
the
crazy. I saw what's it called?
tide.
Carnival Row. Remember that show?
No,
With
never even
Orlando
heard of it.
Bloom and Cara Delevingne.
It was a show.
It was about like a historical. It was actually a good show. I don't know if they're ever making a second season because you can't tell if a show is canceled or if they just take 25 years to make a season. But it was like a steampunk fantasy. And Cara
Oh,
Delevingne and Orlando Bloom were in it. And there's also the girl who played Catherine Howard in The Tudors, but she was had a romance with her between her and this like satyr thing called a puck. And honestly, one of my favorite sex nudity scenes in anything was that those two characters up until that there's a scene in Bridgerton season 3 set to a orchestral version of Pitbull's Give Me Everything. Hot. Probably one of my hottest sex scenes in media, I'd say.
nice.
Yeah. And I was like,
Um,
okay, don't know what to do with that
so
information.
going back to thruples that could or could not be romantic or sexual nature. So tied for basically our third place uh, is three separate thruples. So we have Jacob, Wilhelm, and Angelica. We have Jala, Holly, and Takua. And then we have Joaquin, Manolo, and Maria from the Book of Life. So those three thruples are in third place. And I mean, that makes sense. I feel like these are all sort of more deep cuts.
Yeah.
Our other two nominees are from very popular films. So in second place, we have Luca, Alberto, and Julia from Luca with 23%. And then more than half the vote, it's the lesbian throuple Flora, Fauna, and Merryweather from Sleeping Beauty. I mean, that's who I voted for. So
Yeah, I mean, I think they're a throuple in all senses of the word. I think I
mhm.
might have voted for Luco, Alberto, and Julia. Uh, but yeah, Flor, Fauna, and Merryweather are living together, raising a child together, cottagecore lesbians together,
And we
practicing
love it.
magic, fighting evil.
Mhm.
I didn't go to Pride Night at Disneyland, but I feel like they should be there.
Yeah, they probably won't.
Yeah, but I think
I mean, they may be there, but maybe not like out, you
out.
know.
Yeah, they're a little, they're from an older time. It's harder for them to like come out the same way like you, who picks up a blowout guy, is like open.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Understandable,
yeah,
understandable.
yeah. I think I did vote for Luco, Alberto, and Julia, but they're cute little friends. There's some tension there. But I mean, yeah, I think Florfon and Meriwether are a true throuple. And so that means that even though I didn't vote for them, multiple other people voted for the Bionicle leads.
Yes, that's true. Um, and they are the best throuple. So if you voted for the Bionicle people as best throuple, please sound off in the comments. Let us know. And yeah, also in general, sound off in the comments. Let us know who you voted for. What do you think of the results?
I forgot we had a write-in for Biggest Loser.
Oh my God, that's right. We got to
We
go back to
had
Biggest Loser.
we had Vanessa Hudgens as a write-in, the actress
Yes.
herself. This is confidential vote.
Oh, love
Uh,
it.
yeah,
You know what I just realized could have
yeah.
also been an unsung hero now that we're about to do it is Vanessa Hudgens' Subaru.
Subaru, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Next category is most unsung hero, which is our wildest category. But yet I still feel like these nominees are all spiritually related.
Absolutely.
We have the hands in the furniture slash castle, the handelabras, if you will,
Love it.
from La Belle and La Bête, uh, the 1946 black and white live action adaptation, the French one. The
Another movie
time
that everyone should see.
everyone should see, even though there is an upsetting Jewish stereotype in it. Uh,
Yes,
and
that's
I remember
right.
being so stressed that the fairy tellers would then hate me for making them being like, oh my God, I didn't know this was in here. And then the tiny, mostly gravity defying skirt Hercules wears in Hercules. Got to cover that Hercules up. The tiny reflective iPhone that lets Percy see Medusa from Percy Jackson. And Percy Jackson and the Olympians, the Lightning Thief, the movie. And I think, could be wrong, I may or may not have seen Logan Lerman on my run today.
Oh, fun.
He made eye contact with me, like, because we were like running by, and he was like, I was alone, he was alone. And so we felt no. And so I was walking by and I look and we looked at each other as like, okay, we're people passing. Like he was
Right.
chilling and he stepped out of the way so I could run by and I like nodded. And I think that guy kind of looks like Logan Lerman. I was like, wait, what if it was?
Wild.
Wild. I should tell him his iPhone was nominated. The
Yeah.
scene where they drive in Jackson Levine's TV show, where they're trying to get out of the casino and they just have to go like a few feet.
So
So
good.
good. And the weird pizza delivery guy from Ass, a scary sleepover. This
Again,
about
another bit of media everyone should see.
yeah, a mini series, little YouTube mini horror series about an aswang from Filipino folklore, written directed by my good friend Casey Pimentel. That was a deep cut, so it did not receive votes. And that was also from like our dark period where we're like, what do we do?
Yeah.
But definitely check
Yeah.
out that episode because that was some cool lore and it was like a fun on-set like discussion of the media. So coming in fourth place is the reflective iPhone, which was a shocker. I kind of
Wow.
expected that one to get more votes.
Wow.
Uh, and then tied for kind of our second, third place is a tie with 19% of the votes each, is the scene where they drive in Percy Jackson
It's a good scene.
and the Handelabras in La Belle and La Bête, the performance artists
I
hidden
mean,
everywhere.
it is pretty incredible.
It is, yeah. But then sweeping with 54% of the vote is the tiny, mostly gravity defying skirt Hercules wears.
Yeah, it deserves some laurels for sure.
Yeah.
It was doing a lot of
It's
work.
been a lot of work. He was jumping, he was leaping, and only when he flipped up directly in the air did it flip down.
Yep.
Wow.
What did you
Um,
vote for?
I wait,
Oh my goodness.
I'm trying to remember. I think the scene where they drive,
Okay. I voted for the reflective iPhone because that sent me. I like when I saw that, I was like transported back. And then seeing the photo when I was voting, I was like, I just, I had those memories and I was like, it also because like it's such like a stupid a stupid plot point of like
Yeah.
this is how I'm gonna figure it out using like a modern piece of technology from then
He's like,
is
this
just
is how we're
like
gonna modernize it.
it's so
And
funny.
like the contrast, because like Uma Thurman as Medusa was a high point of that movie.
Yeah,
I would say that and like the casino soundtrack. Yeah. Then the contrast with the iPhone. Wow.
yeah,
Um, yeah, I think the scene where they're driving and they're screaming and
it's
just such a
so
funny
funny.
scene.
Yeah.
It was either I voted for either that or the skirt, but I think it was that because I don't think, but that skirt did a lot of work.
Mhm.
And he was wearing like a kind of like a speedo underneath. So what I want to know is the skirt attached? Are those two
Is
separate
it a
items?
skort? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it like a skort or
Is he
is it
putting does he have underwear that matches the rest of his outfit that he puts on and he puts the skirt over it?
yeah.
Or
Or is it
a
what are they called?
skirt, yeah.
Spankies.
Spanky.
Like
Or is it
yeah.
all one outfit that he puts on because it like pins up at the top? So he steps in and
I was
he
gonna say, what
shimmies
if
it up
it's
and he clips
yes,
it.
it's a
Yeah.
leotard and then the skirt. He's a
Yeah.
ballerina. There's so many
Wow.
options for what that could be. Um,
And I need to find, I'm sure I know I work with some people that worked in that movie. I need to ask them.
Ask them like, what's going on with this
Yeah.
outfit? Is it three pieces? Is it one? Is it two? Is it 17? Um,
Yeah. I think I actually would want to, there's a lot of Disney characters. I want to know what pieces.
Aladdin.
Yeah.
What's going on with Aladdin? Those baggy
Yeah.
pants. I gotta know what's happening.
Yeah. He's running. There's gonna be a lot of friction between his thighs.
Yeah, it's like, what's the point of wearing such baggy pants if you're not going to be protecting your thighs?
He could be wearing
Chafing.
compression shorts underneath.
In that time period, I don't know. But then again, wearing a leotard in ancient Greece,
Yeah. This is the Disney
who's
verse.
to
This is
say?
Agrabah, and for anyone but Ben Carson, Agrabah is not in our timeline.
Another really fitting category for me to read, most bizarre decision. So again, five nominees, and first is again from our Void era,
A real world bad decision.
real world, like affecting the real world, that decision. Banning Halloween, that would have been what is that, Henry VIII, Queen Elizabeth the First. Though I imagine QE2 would have done it if she had the power. And Oliver Cromwell, among other
Mhm.
people.
The Puritans.
Tim in About Time going back to save Harry's play
There's a lot of
again.
Harry hate in the
Like
Fantasy Choice Awards.
Harry was like not nice, and for some reason Tim is like, I'm a good person and I'm gonna do this. Why?
I'm gonna risk my
Um,
chance with Rachel McAdams.
yeah, really.
Yeah.
Brooke, aka Vanessa Hudgens, letting a medieval knight drive her car from the night before Christmas. And not even just a medieval knight, a guy that she thinks has brain damage and is
Yes.
making him think he is a medieval knight.
Yeah.
Bad decision. Our other nominees, Marty McFly deciding to assault his mother to give her the ick in Back to the Future. And then Asha immediately asking Magnifico to grant Sabino's wish, despite not yet even getting the internship. She's literally in the interview.
She is jumping the gun so
So
hard.
awkward.
Yeah.
So these are all really, really good, bizarre decisions. So in last place, we do have Asha,
Mhm.
asking for that wish when she's in her interview, jumping the
And
gun.
I'm glad, even though it was a bizarre decision, I'm glad people didn't let their blind hatred of Wish get in the way. And I think that speaks well to the fantasy. I'm proud of
Yes.
you. But it's deserving of its nomination. But
Yeah.
I mean, we got some real crazy decisions here, and I'm glad people acknowledge that.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's
Yeah.
definitely a faux pas
Yeah.
in the real world.
Yeah.
Certainly,
In
would be
Kingdom, We talked about the
Exactly.
fetal system in that episode.
We
People
sure
had
did.
opinions on our takes.
So then in tying for third place, we have the real life decision to ban Halloween by multiple
Mm,
well, I guess they're all British.
yeah.
Uh
Well, it comes from the
well,
British Isles, so we
yes.
can't. Yeah.
And then Tim going back to save Harry's play in About Time. Yeah,
Hmm.
two very strange decisions. And then in second place is Vanessa Hudgens letting the medieval knight drive her car. And then honestly, like not like a big sweep, but with like 42% is Marty deciding to assault his mother to make her not want to be interested in him anymore. That is not just a bizarre decision, it is just like reckless.
It's just
Like
like I mean, I voted for
so
it because
reckless. I did too.
how like as we said talked about in the episode, it's like there's so many other things. I was like, he could have eaten a bunch of beans and farted constantly.
He could have
Like
not even eaten the beans and just farted or
farted.
just like try to
I
push
don't
it out and like shit himself. Like
yeah.
so many options.
There's so many things. And like just imagine going, he obviously was upset and uncomfortable by his mom hating on him. And so like
Yes.
imagine trying to go through with that. Like obviously he wasn't gonna like he was just gonna
Right.
like start shit and upset her, but
Yeah.
still, it's like there's another way, dude. Uh
Endless decisions in between that one and
yeah.
where you started. So yeah, crazy. Um
But I do appreciate that Brooke letting him even like drive her car was
Getting the
people
recognition deserved.
yeah, because that I think to me that is was the biggest thing that I couldn't believe in that movie. Like, yeah, I mean, even like try time travels. So a school teacher can find love and she has a huge ass house from her parents.
Cool.
Sure, yeah, I'm here. And then I was like, but you're gonna let him drive your car. You can fall in love with him, but you're not gonna don't let him drive your car. He doesn't, he
He's
learned what
also a
a TV
stranger.
was. You saw him learn what a TV.
And even
Yeah.
if she just thinks that he has brain damage, she should not be like, "Yeah, I'll let you drive my car."
Operate
Like
heavy machinery
exactly. Like literally
in
like,
the snow.
oh my god, yeah, icy roads. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
That's
Were
crazy.
they in Ohio?
Yes.
Wow.
I don't know where in Ohio. It
It
was
was
a
a
fake
fake
town,
town,
right?
yeah.
So I don't know the exact area of Ohio, but
Mhm.
like if it was Northeast Ohio, that shit gets crazy on the roads.
Yeah.
So, well, we got two more categories, and
Yeah.
Cullen, you're up next.
This is fitting for me. Because my cat is mad at me right now because I'm recording and not playing with her. And
Mm.
also because when I worked, okay, so well, first the category is worst dad. And I have not fathered a human child, but when I was a high schooler working at Ace
You
Hardware,
did.
I did. No, I did not. But everyone seemed to think I did. Because there was when I wished a woman Merry Christmas and she was offended because she was Christian. And she was like, I think maybe she was a denomination that does not believe in holidays. And she
Oh,
was like, people talk about Jesus, but they drink and they fornicate and they do the drugs. And I was like, I used to wear a
yeah.
cross. I'm like, I'm wearing a cross. She's like, people wear the cross and they drink and they fornicate and they do drugs. And I was like, I don't. And she's like, no, you do. And I was like,
Actually, I
what's all
don't.
this action I'm getting? And then eventually I said, God bless you. And she's like, oh, great. And then thankfully another customer came because I was like, if there was a line, I could have been like, bye. So, but so that I guess I was a good looking teenager because this woman thought I fucked. And then the second would be every man that came in on Father's Day would say, oh, happy Father's Day. And they, oh, happy Father's Day to you too, winky. Like a lot of winks. And I'm like, a lot of people think I'm a father. Again, I
Or
appreciate that you think
were
I was attractive
they
enough to get laid, but and I don't think it was like they were you would not even in a homosexual way, you would not imply that a
I don't
16-year-old
know.
was a
Michigan?
daddy.
In Michigan? I don't know.
We'll ask
uh
Gretchen. We'll send Big Gretch a letter and be like, what do you think?
amazing. Yeah, so our next category, we have
So
a
I'm
ton of nominees.
we have a ton on me because I was like, we're pulling out all the stops. We've had so many bad dads.
Yeah.
We've not talked about Chicken Little yet. So, oh, Chloe Buckluck, not nominated. But we're starting, from the king. We should have gone all the way back. Belle's was what did we think of Belle's dad in the La Belle and La Bête? Did we dislike him? Was he neutral?
I can't remember.
I can't
I honestly
remember
can't remember.
that. I mainly remember a woman being slapped in that household. I
Yes.
remember a Jewish stereotype that was
I think we
unfortunate.
didn't, because she had brothers, right?
Yeah. And the brother sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
think
don't remember.
he didn't
I
stand
think it
out
was,
enough, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah. There was so much going on in that family. But we start with the king and from animated Cinderella. I'm worried for her girl living in the same house as him. We have another Cinderella king. We have King Rowan, Pierce Brosnan. Terrible. He could have fixed the plot the whole time. Henry, in A Time Traveler's Wife, supposed to be our hero, teaching his kid to lie.
Keep secrets from her mother.
Yeah,
Bad.
bad, bad, bad. Stoic the Vast from How to Train Your Dragon. I went into him and I
Publicly
stand by it.
shaming his
Publicly
son.
shaming in government meetings.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh, I still haven't forgiven him. King Triton, both live action and animated.
They're both on here.
Both on here. Lisa's dad from Lisa Frankenstein. He
Two
got two
nominations for
nominees,
him.
two nominations for sucking.
Loser and being a terrible dad.
Yeah. All right. Rest in fucking pieces. Ethan's dad from Beautiful Creatures. Not pictured. He was
Not
just
pictured.
my wife's dad. I'm just gonna lie and bet. Could have been a corpse. We don't know. Ethan wasn't checking. Julie's dad from Warm Bodies, John Malkovich, shot her boyfriend. King Agnar from Frozen, Conceal Don't Feel. He took that troll's advice, wrong
Yeah.
direction. George McFly from Back to the Future. Oof. Ooh, where do we even start? Where do we even
Yeah.
start? And then King Haggard from The Last Unicorn. He adopted a son, thought it'd make him happy. Then he was like, well, I don't really give a shit about him. I just
Yeah.
want to stare at unicorns in the water. The OG brony, King Haggard. And I mean that in the most uncomfortable way. So, wow. This
We
is a tough
have
one to be like, was everyone nominated?
no, we
Or did
have
everyone get votes?
not everyone. But we do have three tied for last
Last
place.
place, we have King Haggard with about 4%. The King and Cinderella with about 4%.
And
We
that's
have
the animated Cinderella.
animated. I think he got a low vote because people are thinking of, because he got Cinderella's dad, who also made some questionable choices. But he's a father-in-law, and that's upsetting to me. And then King Agnar from Frozen. I know the sequels give him a little redemption, but
Retcon. Not about
retcon.
it.
Yeah, exactly. That was a retcon, and I stand by that. So those are our three in last place, and then we have two with like 8%.
Three.
Three?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So that
There's
would be the Pierce Brosnan King Rowan.
three.
He telling Minnie Driver to shut up.
Mm.
Stoic the Vast.
Wow.
All these people should have more votes. They all suck. King Triton from live action Little Mermaid. He was boring.
Yeah.
And so those then we got with 12% of the votes, John Malkovich, Julie's dad from Warm Bodies. And then we have with like 15.4%, it tied for second. We have King Triton, I'm gonna blow up all your shit from Little Mermaid. And Henry in A Time Traveler's Wife.
That's crazy. We must have convinced some people,
We did
or
convince people.
people watch this movie very critically.
Yeah. Because he's the hero. I think a lot of these dads are kind of painted to be in the wrong, but he definitely was. And then not a sweep, but with
not a sweep, but
23% with first place, got George McFly.
Yeah, I mean,
your son had to go back in time to fix your shit. When he's sitting there laughing at that episode and she's like telling the story of how they met. Ooh.
Yeah, no, I mean that he does. Like, I was gonna say, is he a bad dad? But like, he's not super attentive. But yeah, like Marty basically improved their whole situation
because
George McFly sucked.
He was a pushover, and that's what the movie said his crime was. But I also believe it was he was checked out.
Yeah, checked
Like
out of life.
many a dad, unfortunately, many a parent checked out of
Yeah.
their surroundings. It's like those
Happy
interviews where
Father's
they
Day.
ask dads like to name facts about their children.
Yep.
Teacher name,
Yeah.
school name, friend's name.
Facts. Not even just like what's your kid's favorite color, just like facts.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So this did not come from a place of misandry, but truly we just have met some really terrible dads because I think they create conflict. They're a great storytelling device. And I also think because of the overpresence of men in all industries, men are more likely, this is a hot take, to have daddy issues, right? Because like that's the same gender parent who they're comparing
Right.
themselves to. And so like because we see in like Greta Gerwig's work, like a lot of right mommy stuff going on. But like the I feel like mom's more likely to be a sainted dead woman in
Yeah.
media, and then dads create conflict. So
Yeah.
this didn't come from a place of like, oh, I hate dads. I love my dad very much. He's a great dad. But I think I added this one because like I think when we talked about when I went into Stoic, I was like,
We met a lot of bad
a
dads.
lot of bad dads. And
Yeah.
that doesn't even count because I don't think we figured out who Aragon's dad was. Well, no, he wasn't bad. I don't remember. But no, I think his dad, well, no, spoilers for Aragon. I think his dad was Jeremy Irons, who is cool.
Mm.
Not the evil emperor. It's not that much of a Star Wars. Yeah. Um,
Yeah.
Hannah. Oh, but who did you vote for worst dad?
Oh, vote for worst dad. I picked Stoic.
I think I did too.
That's so
Or
funny.
did I do King Haggard? It might have been King Howard because he's like, I got a son, I don't even like him anymore. But I created the category for Stoic.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much.
Because that
Yeah, I
pissed me
picked
off.
Stoic. Yeah. So Ethan's dad and Lisa's dad neither showed up in here.
Yeah.
That's how bad of dads they are. They don't even get a
They don't
vote.
even make an
People
impression
can't
for
even
being
remember.
bad.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. All right. So last category, funniest bit on our show. These are things that at least we think are funny, that
Yeah.
we say and we bring up either often or it was a big part of a single episode.
And
Um,
really tried. Everyone's wanted to be like, oh, I should have included that or included that. But I tried to think of as many of the recurring bits as I could.
yeah. So our nominees are dating everything to the release of Chicken Little. So in the year of our Lord, Chicken Little.
2005,
Um,
yes.
Dumb Bitch University alum, so DBU alum. In case anybody like missed where DBU came from, it was really early on, Dumb Bitch University.
Yeah, I that started for me in a work context where I was just people were annoying me at work, and I was like, I'm dealing with all the DBU alum, and then I brought it in. A lot of things I'll use and like interchangeably, like the Usher "yeah" line I've used at work.
And then you brought it out in one of our
And move
episodes,
on, yeah,
and I just died.
yeah.
Oh man.
So
Next
that
is
work is my testing ground for material here. Yeah.
love that. You get the filtered stuff,
Hmm.
guys. The quote, Camila Cabello is destroying our earth.
Camilla, please stop.
uh the next category or next nominee is Cullen bring up his canceled baptism. Happens a lot.
Hmm.
Next bit, wow, theme music.
Theme music, yeah.
Because we don't know how to start a podcast. Um, Next nominee, having courage and be kinding it, the classic verbiage that we got from Cinderella live action.
And it's just a great way to describe A, being a hero, and B, just like, what are they doing? I don't know. Like sometimes I think, what I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just having courage and becoming it. I'm just winging it. Because it came from, we were talking about how did she know the dance? I'm like, I don't know. She's winging it. She's having courage and becoming it.
The next nominee is the I'm a Beast
You
when
needed the
he's
visual for that one.
from
Yeah.
La Belle and La Bête.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was an interesting one. He
And
was
then when he just runs off into the
self-hatred.
woods.
Oh my God,
And
so
then
good.
Edward did the same thing in Twilight because we're like, this movie's kind of like Twilight. And then in Twilight, he did the same thing where he just ran out of a conversation. He just Naruto ran out of a conversation.
Yeah, because I remember being like, wow, I wish I could exit conversations like that.
Yeah.
The next one is Come Lettuce. I mean, classic from Gods of Egypt.
Yeah.
Um, the next nomination, the Disney princesses as patron saints. So your patron Disney princess.
Mhm.
This next nominee, devastating to learn that they don't exist anymore, but it's about the Teen Choice Awards being the most important award show. They've been canceled.
Mhm.
That I mean, not
How
like
are we supposed
officially,
to make
but they're just
taste
not
now?
doing it. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I don't know. And then let her Rachel McSleep slash she doesn't Rachel McDeserve this. Just, using Rachel McAdams' name
Yeah.
in a fun way.
But those were the
Uh
two. I did it a ton. I only did it like once, I think, in About Time. I did it a ton in Time Traveler's Wife. Those
yeah.
are to me the two funniest uses.
Yeah. I mean, she'll probably come up eventually, maybe when we talk about like Doctor Strange or
Want to hear
I
me
don't
go on a
know.
rant? We'll talk about Doctor Strange.
So yeah, so those are all of our nominees, and a lot of votes went out. So sort of like in our last place, we got some votes for Wow theme music. I'm a Beast. Come Lettuce. Not a lot of people wanted to vote for that. I don't blame you. The Disney Princesses Patron Saints, and then the Teen Choice Awards being the most important show. So those are sort of our last place ones. And then we have another tie, three-way tie between Have Courage and Be Kinding It. Let Her Rachel McSleep. She doesn't Rachel McDeserve this.
Mhm.
And DBU
DBU
alum.
alum. I'm glad people do think that's funny because I was like,
It's so good.
I don't know. I don't know about this one, but
Next up is Camila Cabello is destroying our Earth.
that was a one
Uh
episode one, but that does
it,
kill me.
it iconic. It became iconic for us. And then in I guess our second place is Cullen bringing up his canceled baptism. This makes sense.
You
Happens
know
a
what?
lot.
I'm glad people don't hate it. I'm glad because
Yes,
I'm
and
like,
I'm glad people don't hate this one, the winner, which again, it wasn't a big win. Like it was kind of like really close between Cullen's baptism and the dating everything to the release of Chicken Little. So we're glad that our most long-standing bits are still landing. So
I'm
thanks for for bearing with us.
I'm so grateful because I'm like, is the Chicken Little one too old? Because there's a period where I felt like I did it every episode. Then I'm like, okay, maybe I need to space it out more.
I think
Um,
that's the key. Yeah.
yeah, but I'm glad people still appreciate that because it is funny and it doesn't even come from a hatred of Chicken Little. It was just to describe that Black Cauldron ride at Tokyo Disneyland that like it lasted till 2006. So you could go on a Black Cauldron Disney villain themed attraction post Chicken Little. That was
Yeah.
something you could do. And then it just became dating
Like,
everything to pre-post Chicken Little.
and I mean, it's good because I think Chicken Little is a touchstone of our culture.
It kind of is because it was like a new era of Disney where they were, I think it was their first CGI, not their full first, but like it was like we're no longer doing like our classic 90s animated, like
Yep.
this is a new era. And we'll have to talk about Chicken Little, and I definitely will save it for a special episode of some kind.
Mm,
But
yeah.
we're not gonna wait till the very end, like we are for Little Mermaid too. But uh yeah.
Yeah.
So
All right.
thank you for appreciating our bits.
Yeah.
Uh,
And thanks for voting in our poll. We
yeah,
we don't know when we're gonna do it again. Probably for another like milestone episode. But yeah,
yeah. Thanks for being part of the fantasy.
yeah, it's been great.
It's been great. And speaking of which, we have some fan love that I want to get into.
Yes.
So first off, though, as you know, as our Instagram followers may know, I pit each movie against the previous movie to ask which is your fantasy, and then the winner goes on to face the next movie. So it's not 100% accurate system, and I did mess up a couple times. I realized in hindsight.
Oh,
But our winner, our movie that was for 9 weeks or like 9 episodes strong was Rogers and Hammerstein's Cinderella.
awesome.
People
Wow.
came out in support. Uh and
And that was up against other Cinderella movies.
under Cinderella movies, it tied with Back to the Future.
Wow.
and it tied with Cinderella 3, but I did forget to carry Cinderella 3 over to the next category. So what a fake fan, because I'm a Cinderella 3 stan. That so it didn't get a chance to face off against the other, like Back to the Future and the other time travel movies. But I just want to not acknowledge that now. But Roger and Hammerstein's Cinderella. And then second goes to Return of the King with
Wow.
7 kind of week episodes in a row. And then next, third place tie between Little Mermaid, Hercules, and How to Train Your Dragon.
Nice.
And then fourth place, a four-way tie, Fellowship of the Ring, Frozen, Santa Claus is Coming to Town, and Lisa Frankenstein.
Nice.
Fifth place tie between Black Cauldron, Book of Life, Beautiful Creatures, and 1950 animated Cinderella. And then, in six, we have our people that were at least able to tie Back to the Future and Cinderella 3, A Twist in Time. So
Nice.
quite a random selection of our movies. And again, it's based on like whatever you're facing up against.
Mhm.
So it's hard. I want to shout out though also a couple of our Apple reviews.
Yay.
Um, so we had a couple of people that didn't just do the stars, they wrote a message. This pod is my fantasy. Super funny and insightful pod, great for fans of film, literature, and a little snark. And that review is from I just saw your text that said costume. That is from Mrs. Bashore.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then we have this podcast is always my fantasy unicorn emoji. If you love fairy tale lore from all over the globe, insightful yet irreverent film and pop culture commentary, and lots of references to find, this podcast is for you. I also think the intro music is amazing, and I'm absolutely not biased in any way. KL.
I wonder who that
I
could
wonder
be.
who that is. Thank you for your beautiful reviews that
Yes.
really, capture our energy. And we have some YouTube comments that I wanted to shout out.
Some of our faves.
Some of our faves. One from Michael Greenleaf,
Ooh, a former guest of the
former guest of the
pod.
pod, Munching, and one of our OG fans from day one.
Thank you,
Uh,
Michael. I love
Munching,
your last name. It's so cool.
it
Honestly,
is
your
so
whole
cool.
name is dope.
Yeah, it's a
But
top tier name. Munchings and Crunchings. I definitely remember this being a big thing in my family when we watched it randomly when I was a kid that we would reference often, but we also never watched it again. I think it was because it was more intense than one of the Disney movies that we'd watch regularly. Really fun to hear it all broken down.
oh
Uh,
yeah, the Black Cauldron. Dark. Dark, dark, dark movie. I
dark
mean, it
movie.
starts with animal abuse. It's like in the first 5, 6 minutes of the movie's
Yeah,
animal abuse.
hitting that goat. We have one from John Gennardi, another OG fan. First one to view this, I win. Also, Sleeping Beauty is my favorite movie, and Princess Aurora is my number one favorite Disney princess. The style of animation is just gorgeous. I look up to Mark Davis's art style for characters, and I find it in my style of drawing characters. I do own a lot of merch from this movie, mainly pins and dolls and other books as well. Make it pink. Heart emojis, smiley face emojis.
Yay. Awesome.
Scout Fan 911 said, I'm guessing 911. Maybe that's their birthday. I don't know. The grandma forced an entire race into hiding from genocide after they lost their MacGuffin trident. She was going to kill all of them, and the movie treats this as a good thing. Uh, that's a Ruby Gilman comment. One of our first comment sections to really pop off.
Dude, Ruby Gilman, it's that's such a interesting movie. I wonder if
Yeah,
they're gonna make a second one.
I don't know. I don't.
Because I don't think it did very well.
No.
And the story's not that great, but
And we did not really come in to be haters. That's
no.
what, because I was talking with someone at work, and I was like, I didn't come in to be a hater. It's just, and I didn't always think the messages they sent were intentional, but it was just crazy that they sent those messages,
Yeah.
and that ties into this other comment. It is from Alex Gomez. It is rather shocking just how much this movie got away with such glaring pro-war, pro-racism, and pro-imperialism undertones in our enlightened age, especially when it had the audacity to accuse the idea of prom being some colonial and patriarchal institution. Absolute hypocrisy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That movie is so wild with its messaging. And again, yeah, I
yeah.
don't think like most of it was intentional.
Intentional.
And
Yeah,
then of course, like in the current context that we live in, I think it was right. Was it
yeah.
before or was it
Right.
after?
Well, I mean, it's been going on.
Well,
People haven't been
yeah,
paying attention, but
but I mean, like just the context of that movie too was just like, what's happening
yeah.
over there? Was it DreamWorks?
DreamWorks. And but there
Yeah.
was, when I've talked with people and people like there's a deleted stuff and there was initially
Yeah.
different plans and you could see the spines of that in the
Yep.
movie and you could see there, okay, we're going this way. And
Yeah. They definitely chopped off some tentacles for
they
sure.
did, yeah. But to switch gears, we have another Michael Greenleaf comment. Haven't played this game, but I also do not like Tuxedo Mask. We're talking about Monster Prom and the Interdimensional Space Prince.
Yeah, Tuxedo Mask is like the worst. Like, I'm pretty sure he just gaslights. Well, I guess whatever his real name is. Basically just like gaslights Usagi. So I don't know. I think there's a problematic age gap too.
Ugh.
But then again, I don't know because I don't know how old Usagi is in most of the show. But anyway, yeah.
We have a comment from Donovan Eagle, 2098. Fun Norse myth fact. I'm not too far into the video, so if you meant this, I'm sorry. I don't think we did. So,
Thanks.
Odin performed a type of gay magic called Sidir that may have involved being the bottom sexually to another man and definitely involved cross-dressing. Since Gandalf was inspired by Odin, that means Gandalf is definitely a bi bottom.
Whoa.
Yeah, I think
Crazy.
Sir Ian McKellen would approve. Uh,
Absolutely.
I know it's like the history of Sadir is complicated because it was like a woman's magic, but then men would do it. So then it's like, are you are you a little gay if you're doing it? So, and I think, yeah, I think Sir Ian would be like, let's do this. And I
Yeah.
could see that for Gandalf. We have Draymond Master 222, and we have a few comments from them because they're a fan, and I want to shout out our fan, our fantasy. He said, "Wow, I had no idea mythology could be so raunchy and fun." Which one do you think that is?
Is that Gods of
The
Egypt?
Gods of Egypt. uh,
Yeah, fun.
we have one from IDONGESITUSEN 5764. The remake could do a lot of things to flesh the story out, like shorten the prologue or detail the other labors. But they won't do that. It could give Zeus a slightly deeper mentor-father role, but they won't do that. Since pain and panic are stand-ins for Phoebus' fear and Deimos' terror, Ares could be the big baddie with Hades as the no-nonsense brains of the scheme. But they won't do that.
That's literally just like the theme of most Disney movies. Like they could do this, but they won't.
They won't, especially the remakes.
Yeah.
We have a comment from Ikami-chan. The "we didn't need to know that" talk just makes me think of how you would react to the As Old as Time book, where the fairy turns out to be Belle's mother. They find Mr. Potts' rotting corpse buried in the castle yard, and Chips should be around Belle's age. Even though it all sounds super fanficky and bad, it was good. Smiley.
That actually sounds dope.
Yeah. I've never read any of those like Twisted Tales.
Oh,
I
okay.
wonder. I wonder if we should. I didn't think this movie was overtly horny, but the second I saw the thumbnail, my brain clicked and I thought, yeah, it kind of was. Which one do you think that is?
Oh God.
Thumbnail quiz, baby.
Ooh. Um. Oh, is it the Percy Jackson
Yeah.
movie? Yeah. Yeah.
And full disclosure, that was like our hugest episode. So we had a very big comment section. So I really had to skim through because I had to go on a hike. And I was like, I'm not going to get through all these comments. And then all that fairy lore sent me into hysterics from BB Beans 4757. It was LaBelle and Labette when we talked about like the Beauty and the Beast novella. And remember that
Yes.
second half where they're like, here's all this fairy politics. And you're like, why did we need this?
Yes. Oh my God.
That was
Yeah.
crazy. And I
That
had to
was
listen to like a racist person do the audio version because it was the only one I could find.
uh
Yeah, a racist anti-Catholic. I was like, wow, really my opposite. This is from Salvanas42. This movie was the first time I truly remember being viscerally upset at an adaptation. Aragon, I was 10 and mostly confused. Also, the guy they cast as Brom, I really liked. And while they made some weird choices, like showing Galbatorix despite us not having seen him yet 2 weeks later at the time, I didn't think it was absolutely terrible. This one, I was 14 and was upset from the first announcement. I was just learning how to criticize movies more than bad and good, but was perpetually optimistic. But the first posters and trailers had a person who was older than I was, like clearly and obviously. Then they had whole tent that Luke ran at camp and just got so upset at like every decision they made. By the end, I was just like, that's it. They ruined any hope of this series I love ever being on screen again. Fortunately, I was wrong. And while the show has made some odd decisions, the fundamental bones of the series with the characters I love is still there. And I can only hope Disney will keep it up and we might have a prayer of getting to see all the intertwining worlds of the Riordan mythos.
Very cool.
I
Yeah.
thought that was a
Yeah.
great summary. So that's why I included that for Percy Jackson.
Yeah. We had a couple like adaptations that were just like so underwhelming to
Yeah.
people. Yeah. So that's a bummer. But yeah,
This
shows definitely a
way better.
much better watch.
Yeah. Sorry to my impromptu running buddy, Logan Lerman. This is from Sylvie2474. In defense of action girly with their hair down, I say it depends on the frequency, if it was planned for it, if it's immersion breaking. Like they're specifically planning to go have some game of capture the flag and it's not something they do daily, then yeah, sus not to have their hair put up. But if it's a surprise or if you had capture the flag every day like it was gym class, then I'm chill with their hair down because it'd be a pain to put my hair up every day if I was doing that. I just leave it down. Caveat to be if the character willingly puts their hair up on normal days, aka if the default 350 days of the year isn't down, then they should put it up because they clearly don't mind it that much. If they'll do it other days without a specific reason, and if they have thick or I presume more curly or voluminous, I sort of have mid thin straight hair and it's pretty long. So unless I'm whipping my head around, it stays where it is decently enough. I put my hair up if I'm doing dance with a bunch of jumping or turns, but if it was less up and down and spinning, I leave it down to dance. Basically, I'd mark on a scale of 1, how common is the event / was it planned? 2, how calm is your hair baseline? 3, does the event actually disrupt your hair or your hair disrupt the event that much when judging if it fits?
This is the new Bechtel test. This is the Sylvie test.
This is
Okay.
silly. I just love this comment because I was like, we like kind of were joking, and then they're like, here's my realistic like
Because
analysis.
we went for the obvious thing of just like women wear heels and run.
Yeah,
Women, have their hair down in action scenes. Like we
yeah,
went for like the very obvious thing to make fun of. And this person was like, actually, if you think about it critically,
yeah.
so this is the new Sylvie test. I'm telling you,
We need to
this
call it
is
that now.
the
Yeah,
Sylvie test. This is the new Bechdel test. Like, okay, this character has their hair down in like an action situation. Well, let's think about it. Okay, would this character normally have their hair up or down? It's like so good. Love it.
but Rosin Germain said the idea of people speculating Cullen being a vampire is incredibly funny when you realize that it's pretty much a meta requirement for vampires to be gay. Seriously, Carmilla, Dracula, kind of. Lewis and Lestat, LOL, and that's why Edward ain't a real vampire. He's too hetero to be one. Way to go,
shout out,
Rosin.
shout out to that person.
Christopher B501 said, read the book a long time ago as I recognized Kami Garcia's name from comics. Aside from the uncomfortable associations with Southern stuff, barely remember a darn thing from the book. Never saw the movie. Made so little of a splash, I didn't even know there was one until I saw front cover.
Uh-huh.
That's
Beautiful
Beautiful Creature
creatures.
is not
Yes.
making a splash. Ooh, we know what series that is. Midge a Smidge says,
Ooh,
loving this
love that name.
podcast series. I find the fawning over Aragorn so interesting. His greasiness was always really off-putting for me growing up. However, my all-time favorite character is Gollum. Somehow, the nastiest little freak with a rancid personality to match just stole my heart. I guess being a campy, conniving little shit was all I needed to get over his wet, greasy, slimy visage. Aragorn couldn't meet those high standards, apparently. Also, Gollum as the alpha mean girl and the LOTR Riverdale show, CW show, would have me in a chokehold.
That's so good. I love that.
That's a journey of a comment. And
Nasty
yeah,
little freak.
nasty little freak. I loved Riverdale Rivendell.
Rivendell.
We need
Yeah.
to bring the CW back so they can make Rivendell.
So is the CW completely gone, or is it like rebranded and is a new thing like they did
I
with
think it was
BBC?
bought and rebranded. And so like they're kind of genre of like 22 season teen shows that were long running. I think that's gone. That's
Wow.
unfortunate. Yeah. BBB Beans 4757. Beauty and the Beast is my all-time favorite Disney movie. It's just so visually stunning, and I think the songs are best from Alan Menken and Howard Ashman. I'm also like the only person I know who's always thought the Beast looks fine after he transforms. IDK what that says about me though.
Yeah, see, like, so this person's saying they like the human.
Yeah,
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't think many people did, right?
that is a
So
hot take, BB
they're
Beans.
confirming it.
Yeah. Mordred Pendragon says, I'm glad that you guys actually had some good things to say about Wish. Nearly every other review of it that I've seen has been entirely negative. When I went to see it in theaters, I actually enjoyed it. I didn't think it was perfect because the songs held it back, like you said, and it got a little too bathos-y for my liking at times. Also, the execution of Magnifico was kind of weird. I feel like it went from zero to dark magic really quickly.
Yeah. Yeah, especially like considering his backstory was that like he came from like a really like his whole family was like destroyed. And so it's like he had held that in for so long that then all of a sudden like he's kind of losing power a little bit and
Yeah.
instantly he goes off the rails. Yeah, I mean, overall I did not like that movie.
Yeah.
And I think like when we were recording it, I was like I was trying to be kind to it because I'm also like,
People were so
yeah, because I didn't want
mean
to
for no
do
reason.
that. I did not. I think we agreed that we're like we don't want to like
Yeah.
breed more of that. Like so we're gonna be as positive as we can be.
But
But I
I
think
didn't
like
love
overall like
it. Yeah.
I don't think I liked it at all.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
an
I don't really
interesting
have
concept,
yeah.
but and also like I don't even know if I talked about this, but like all of the like little things that you guys were pointing out, like I didn't even pay attention to
Yeah.
those. I
Oh,
was
like the
because I was
Disney tree. Yeah.
yeah, all of like the Easter eggs and like coming up with the fact that like, oh yeah, she's like a fairy godmother. And I was like over my head
But
because I literally was like, 'cause I was so confused by what was
and
happening.
so many of the Easter eggs were not just Easter eggs. They were like in your face, like, hi, this is Peter. And I'm like an adult man learning to it's just like, no. But yeah, people were so negative that it was like, okay, guys, chill out. Like there are worse movies. We've
Yeah,
seen
exactly. I was like,
Pinocchio, Polly Shore.
I'm not gonna spend my energy like hating on Wish.
Yeah.
It's a movie I won't see again, which is a shame because like I thought there were some cute elements of it, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Mordred Pendragon said, I absolutely love the patron princess bit, and I can't wait to find out what all the Disney princesses are the patron princesses of. Now, we don't have time for it today because also I failed to do it, but I was trying to make a BuzzFeed style quiz with the six princesses that we have and that we've covered. So the Aurora, Cinderella, Ariel, Belle, Moana, Mulan.
Yeah.
But it's harder than you think to find a good software for that.
Mm,
And then they want to do some like math thing, and I'm like, can I just do this number goes to this answer? You
yeah.
know, because I thought I had some fun questions.
You should just do it like the old magazine quizzes. If you answered mostly A, it's this
Yeah,
one.
yeah. Katie Little says, I remember gasping out loud in the theater when she said, I forgive you. It can be interpreted as toxic positivity, especially since there's so many situations in which people are pressured to forgive an abuser who never really atoned for what they did. But in the context of this movie, I felt it was really powerful because I felt like she was telling the stepmother, you have no power over me anymore. And also that Ella is the one who wins in the end because she kept her morality intact throughout everything. I think the stepmother felt that way too, because when she hears it, she sinks down onto the stairs.
Yeah. So
That,
it's basically a moral victory over the stepmother.
yeah,
Yeah,
it's a mic
that's a good
drop.
point.
And
Yeah.
in the later in that thread that we had about that Katie started, we had Oded X21 said, I remember in kindergarten back in the mid 90s, my teacher said something about Cinderella forgiving her stepfamily. To actually see that moment on screen brought me so much joy. Most Cinderella adaptations are primarily comedies, and you can't take what's happening on screen seriously. And I'm so happy this film isn't one of those. This movie fits the definition of visual masterpiece and won't be forgotten. So this is about, again, live action Lily James Cinderella. Uh,
It's about Camila Cabello Cinderella.
Cinderella. Um, And then this is Borjan Jasarek. On this movie itself, viewing it as a natural extension of the established characters and setting is probably what makes it feel like one of, if not the best, direct-to-video Disney sequels. Instead of crafting a wholly new conflict, possibly shifting from the original main characters and villains, we get what could be the second half of the story. What happens when Lady Tremaine is stewing in hatred and suddenly has the means to attain revenge. How her daughters approach the shift of losing the person at the bottom. How do the heroes shift when the goalposts are moved, and so on. Love this movie, even if the songs are mediocre. Obviously, that's Cinderella 3,
Yeah.
iconic direct-to-video sequel.
And that's a good point about like I think we talked about it too that like it's still Cinderella's story. It's
Yeah,
just we've given her a new set of conflicts and she still has the same relative goal.
yeah.
Um, but it is kind of, interesting to see, Lady Tremaine has obviously still held on to all of that.
You did not let it
And
go.
now she's like, we're gonna fuck some shit up. We're gonna try
Yeah.
again.
Is a great way to play with those characters instead of like, we have Ursula's crazy sister and Ariel's stuff, like instead of just here's a whole
And
new
it
cast.
and it makes their dynamic between the sisters and the mother
Mhm.
much more complex.
Lady Tremaine is an abuser. She's toxic. So even for her daughters who she likes more than Cinderella, like it's still not a great situation to be living with
She
her.
likes barely more than
Yeah.
Cinderella. Yeah.
We have a couple comments from Hatred Lord. One is, wait, I do want your B movie video. Please do that for real. Uh,
We absolutely will.
we
B
will
movie
do the
is
B
a
movie.
fantasy. It is my fantasy.
I wanna be, do you want to be
Be
fucked
Larry
by a
King,
bee or do you want to be a
bejesus.
bee fucking human Renee Zellweger?
Neither.
You just
Um,
want to hang out with B Larry King and be Jesus and yeah.
yeah. Well,
Uh
yeah.
we'll have to do that as well as I think also in the this was there was I think it was in the comments for Percy Jackson where people were like, you gotta do Bionicle, which we did, and then they talked about Descendants, which we will get to. We're just trying to find the right time. But then also
Yeah,
because
I'm busy for the next 10 years, so I can't do it. Sorry.
uh, Hatred Lord also has a comment that I initially thought was about Time Traveler's Wife. Retouching yourself. They do mention that in two, but when Marty's girlfriend does it and nothing of interest happens. But you're probably thinking of Time Cop, where if two copies of the same from across time touch, they melt together into a CGI mess. So
Fascinating.
you see why I thought that was Time Traveler's Wife.
Yes, yes, I
And
do.
then I think they did that in the show. I think that scene, because I was Googling something about Henry and Time Traveler's Wife, and I saw one with two of him, and like they're like undressed, and there's like a bed, and I'm like,
Oh, gosh. Hmm.
yeah. It's like
There's
when I
something
Googled
gay happening there.
something gay. When I Googled something and incesty, I guess. When I Googled stepsister once, because in my brain, Cinderella's stepsister comes up first. That's not what
I
Google.
loved that for you, Cullen.
We got some life with Derek freaks out here. All right, so Draymond Master says, yeah, the Lotus Casino apps was definitely the weakest of the bunch. Plus, the kids driving was absolutely hilarious.
Mhm.
I feel like there was more emphasis placed on the relationship between the gods and their children and Poseidon and Sally Jackson. While the TV series may not have been as good as the books, I still enjoyed what they did in the show and like some of the changes so much better than the movies. Draymond is a big fan. He has a lot of comments and I love that he's supporting us. So I wanted to get shout out multiple because he's around for the long haul. Almost every
Mhm.
episode he's around because he
Love
also
that.
on Aragon loved the book, but I barely remember the movie. Honestly, good for you. Chameleon Radio said, maybe a Bionicle. Oh, dude, you're certainly not the only one. Partially ironic, hear me out, is definitely not the limit of the Bionicle franchise. I swear, if you ever decide to do Legends of Metro Nui / Web of Shadows, I will be willing to be on as nobody, just so Cullen can have someone on his side. I actually mostly experienced Bionicle through the lore because as a girl, no one bought me those toys. I still have my original Galley figure, though. She's just missing a chess piece.
That's interesting. Yeah, like but I think I said it in the episode like I didn't have boy cousins until I was like way into middle school or high school. And so like I would have never interacted with those toys because no one would have bought them for me. So
Yeah.
it's interesting that this person found it through the lore.
Yeah.
Um yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. I love lore and I love Bionicles. And then our final question is from If Rahoda,
Question or
uh,
comment?
our final comment, yes, comment. And it
It's like I
says,
don't feel like answering any questions.
no question. The comment is not period. You shared epic space period.
Wait, say that again?
Not period. You shared epic space period. This was, I believe, on About Time.
Oh, yeah.
So please, if you are this person, tell me what you mean. I don't know
Uh-huh.
what this means.
Love it.
We've only gotten a couple negative comments in our time, and I don't even know if this is a negative one. And I just want to know.
And I would like to know.
Yeah. Please tell me if you hate me. I'm in therapy right now, so it's a good time. Don't wait till I've used up my free sessions, okay?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah. That was our little fantasy shout out, just a sampling of our comment section and some of the brilliant takes that I've
Yeah,
seen. Really interesting analysis. And I love that like our analysis inspires people to kind of do their own, talk about what stories mean to them, and talk about like their own, even when it's like different from ours or something that we
yeah,
didn't talk about. Because yes, you can, I love watching a movie and enjoying it, but it's also fun to think about stories in media and how they reflect our values and our worldview. And they have a lot of impact, they have a lot of power.
yeah,
So if we're helping you kind of like tackle about weird fairy lore or like think about what bionicles mean to you or like explore, you know, the relationships, that mythology, like how that reflects with modern times, you know, whatever we are like combo of movie analysis and lore analysis, however that helps entertain, educate, or like and it helps you analyze your world, you know,
yeah.
we're glad to be there for that. Glad to be part of your commutes, your laundry, your dishes, you know, just to
Your
be
runs,
around.
your hikes,
Yeah.
whatever it is. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks for listening. And thank you for 50 plus amazing episodes by this point. And yeah, I mean, I guess we can kind of, I don't remember, I don't know exactly when this is coming out, but you may see less of us over the next couple weeks.
Yeah, going to a weekly schedule was a challenge.
Yeah.
So we will be taking a bit of a summer vacation, give you time to catch up because also we have long episodes. There's a lot of content for you
Yeah.
as a listener. So listen to our backlog and we will be back. We don't have an official time yet, but this isn't like an indefinite planned
No,
hiatus. This is just like we're going on hiatus and we'll be back like late summer, early fall kind of deal.
exactly.
Because we have episodes planned for those. We have things we want to talk about, things
Mhm.
happening. We have
Yeah.
gravity to defy. Let me just say
We
that.
literally do.
I got the Wicked audiobook downloaded.
Wow.
That's longer than Aragon, baby.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's a big one. I remember it being
And maybe the
chunky.
same amount of pubes.
Mm.
It was
Yikes.
like, I don't love that combo.
But yeah, so but you'll hear us on a
We
different
we have a
podcast.
couple crossovers
Yeah.
upcoming, which you will see on social media. And we'll definitely have I have some ideas for some social media thoughts, but we just need a little break. We will be coming back. We'll still be doing regular episodes and like we
Should
might
we
not
clickbait title it? Be like, goodbye.
last episode, yeah. And then it won't be like we probably won't do weekly when we get back. We're still debating what kind of schedule if we want to do like weekly for a month, and then some months we have less because we have a lot of like iconic fantasy movies coming out in theaters, and I feel like we also want to celebrate those and also the context they need. I think we'll probably have a Snow White series next year.
And it's also fun to do things that are fresh because everyone's analyzing at the same time. So we're
Yeah,
all in communication. And that's fun to kind of
that's
see
fun.
like how these movies are impacted, like, especially like Wicked. Like how
Yeah,
is that going to impact like movie musicals? Because
yeah.
Cats really did a number on that.
Cats did a
Uh
number.
so, Wicked's really going
Yeah.
to be, and so
I,
the Moana
Moana
sequel.
sequel. You'll get we have Wicked, Moana 2. Snow White next year. There's some themes and things we want to explore, old movies, new movies. So we'll be back roughly
In a
kind of
couple
end of the
weeks.
summer. Yeah, it really will be a couple weeks.
Yeah.
But for us and our mental capacity, it'll be a
Yes.
much needed respite. It'll be a long rest on this journey. We gotta fill up our spell slots.
Exactly. Yep. I
Yeah.
gotta rest so I can level up.
Hmm. Yeah. We're gonna be level 2 podcasters when we come back. We'll have
Just
to
two.
just do. I guess we've been podcasting for years. We're probably up
Level
there.
5.
We're
Wait.
probably in our subclass already. Now we're
Wow.
deciding for
Look
a
at us.
multi-class.
Ooh, that's a big decision.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. So while we figure that out, what we're multi-classing, please comment below with your thoughts on the Fantasy Choice Awards. Who you would have nominated,
Yeah.
who if you agreed, who you voted for, all that jazz.
Yeah, we want to hear from you guys, or especially if you feel very strongly about your nominee or your vote, we want to hear about it.
Yeah.
But in addition to that, you can follow us on Instagram and TikTok. We are at Not My Fantasy Pod. And again, if you're on YouTube, subscribe. Hit
Yeah.
that.
Bell notification and
Hit the bell
smash
notification.
that like button.
Yeah, do all those things. Like the video. Definitely we want to. I know this is like not a normal episode. It's one of our ballad episodes we used to do like on Glee Boot. But these ones are so much fun to do because we're doing more interaction with you guys.
Yeah.
So definitely like this video because we want to know, like, do you like this?
And
We want to hear more from you.
yeah, it's fun to kind of take stock. Like this is one cohesive journey and it's also like fun to interact and see what your thoughts are. And then so please also, leave us those reviews, especially written review, thoughts, feelings, questions,
Emojis.
how much you loved it every time we mention Chicken Little and my baptism. Just let people know. Let people know for the spicy topics.
Yeah, love
Uh,
that.
yeah, we'll see you soon. It
Yeah.
really will not be long because you'll also throughout the summer we have a couple guest spots, I believe.
Yeah. So
So
you'll still be hearing from
yeah,
us.
we won't
And we'll
shut
let you
up.
know. We can't
We
fucking shut up.
think you can
Uh,
stop what we do. I doubt it. That's the Spark song. Yeah.
and we will definitely, on social media, keep an eye out. We'll let you know when those episodes drop for the different shows that we're going to be appearing on. So, yeah.
Yeah. Enjoy your summer.
Bye, listeners.
Bye.